49,779 votes, representing 65.71%. Edward Nasigri Mahama, 48 votes, representing 0.08%, and Jacob Osei 147 votes, 0.24%. And so that is the result so far from 146 polling centers out of the 166 polling centers here at the Sunyani East Constituency Collation Center. So we are currently heading to the regional Collation Center where we're hoping to have most of the results coming in, because as of 12 midnight, we went there and the EC director told us that so far there hasn't been any certified results from any of the constituencies.
Catherine, we would like you to go over the figures again and slowly, and if you could repeat them now and then, so we can input these into our election command center. Okay,
so in the order in which they appear on the ballot paper, Ivokabna Green Street, CPP 46 votes, and that represents 0.08%. Nana Kunedua Jaman Rollins, 31 votes, 0.05%. John Dramani Mahama, 19,162 votes, representing 31.65%. Papa Kwesi Indum, 638 votes, representing 1.05%. Nanado Danko Kufuado, 39,779 votes, representing 65.71%. Edward Nasigri Mahama, 48 votes, representing 0.08%. And Jacob Osei Yeboah, 147 votes, representing 0.24%.
Right, Catherine Frimpoma, we're grateful for your time. Thanks very much, and please keep safe and get back to us in full peace. And we'll be waiting for the results coming in there. So those are results you heard from Catherine Frimpoma, and we do have some results. We'll pretty much go back, run over these figures again with you, these provisional results, and when we get them. This is your Election Command Center, and you're also live on 3FM 92.7, and if you are listening to us in Tamale, this is Kesmin. We're also on Kesmin FM 107.1. Martin is here. Martin, I've been. We need to go through the figures. Absolutely. That we have had so far. Yeah. You put something down. We can.
I'm telling you, man. And back. I think with these provisional figures, the surprises have started coming in. And I'll just quickly go over the Akwetia constituency. Yes. And this is the 2012 summation of the Akwetia constituency. 2012, Baba Jamal won by 50.44%, as against the NDC's Dr. Asare, who got 49, which is actually quite close. But for the 2016 figures we are getting, it says that NDC has 15,925, as against the NPP's 21,436. Clearly showing that if these figures are anything to go by and are certified by the Electoral Commission, it means Baba Jamal has lost the seat to the NPP.
Should be losing the seat to the MP.
Provisionally.
Provisionally. We'll get more results coming in.
So that is what it looks like. And I mentioned Nandom. Nandom has also gone to Ambrose Derry, who is in the opposition as we speak, but per the provisional results, he is in a good lead and is likely to go to Parliament. But those are the figures we have. But Catherine also just mentioned from the Sunyani East, and that should be in the Bonohaf region. So let's look at Sunyani East right now. Sunyani East in the Bonohaf region, where are you? Where are you? Where are you?
Sena West, after Sena West, Sunyani East.
Yeah, grab it. So for 2012, this is how the figures is looking like for parliamentary candidates. And it shows that in 2012, the NDC's candidate got 90.81%. 90. No, that's like actually the NPP. These are not okay. So for 2012, the figures clearly show that the seat went for the NPP. But the figures we are getting from Sunyoy is that our reporter indicate that the NPP got 39,779, which is 65.71%.
Yes.
This that I'm projecting on the screen is for 2012 because the 2016 figures have now come in. We'll put it in and then we can look at the margins as well. And for the NDC, she said that it's 19,162, which is about 31.
She actually gave presidential results.
She didn't give
we can even look at the presidential
results. We can look at presidential. There it is. And for presidential, Sunyoy East, NPP won by 59.13%. And it means that then it is a retention of the seat with an even bigger margin, because this is 59, but the figures we are getting from our reporter is 65.71%. So it means that some of the surprises have started coming in from the various regions.
We're still waiting for the Electoral Commission to tell us certify results.
And so we are just trying to bring you the figures as we get them, but we are also being told that the Navrongo Central Constituency has also come in. Navrongo should be in the
Navrongo is Upper East
region. I beg your pardon. So Navrongo,
Navrongo, is it Navrongo Central?
Yes, Navrongo Central. Wait, we'll just pull that up shortly. Okay, let me take it home. But then the figures we're getting from Navrongo has also come in. We'll put it into the system shortly so we can make sense of it, because the figures are now looking clear, and it's also shaping up for the regional comparison as well. So
that's Navrongo Central.
Navrongo Central. And provisional results we are getting.
This is 2012.
This is 2012. So let's go to 2016 and see how the things have turned out. This is a really close call for presidential. Really close call for presidential, because NDC's John Dramani Mahama got 18,810. And the NPP's Nana Akufo-Addo got 18,759. And look at the percentage. This is 48.44 and this is 48.31.
Unbelievable.
Very close.
Let's look at how it was in 2012.
In 2012, there was quite some margin.
A big margin for the NDC. So it means that the NPP has made quite a substantial gain in Navrongo Central.
You're absolutely right, because the NDC, we can say, got 60% in 2012 based on these figures. The NPP got 38%. But in 2016, look at how close that is. 40. So Akufo-Addo managed to shore up enough votes. Let's see if we have parliamentary votes. Not yet. But then at least the presidential votes for the Navrongo Central constituency shows that the NDC has won. Is in the lead. President John Dramani Mahama is in the lead with very, 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 very little margin against Nana Akufo-Addo's figures. So if these other numbers are added, it's very likely that it may not be able to change anything. And these are the results, full results coming in from the Navrongo Central.
So full results mean that for the Navrongo, then it means President John Mahama took the lead.
Yes, and he maintained it actually from 2012 as well.
Who is the current member of parliament for Navrongo Central?
Navrongo Central, let's find that out. The current member of parliament, 2012, there.
Mark Oyongo.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
So Mark Oyongo is the current member of parliament, and we have not gotten the provisional results for parliamentary yet.
Right. We're hearing.
But we're hoping that
we're hearing rumors. We can check again and see what
for 2016 we do not seem to have it yet.
Good. Okay.
We do not seem to have it yet, but we certainly will bring it to the viewer in the next few minutes. But these are the figures that we have managed to get from our reporters. Most of them are moving to the regional headquarters, the regional collation centers. You know, so we've had the constituency collation results. They are moving to the regional, and from the regional, it will be transmitted to the national.
That's when the EC will have something.
Madam Charlotte will finally speak to
the returning officer of the Electoral Commission.
Absolutely.
So all those declaring we are winning, we are leading, should
take it easy.
Cool down until the commissioner herself, who is the returning officer for presidential elections, declares the final certified results.
Certainly. So, well, we are just monitoring events for you. I mean, it's shaping up pretty well. We're able to see the pictures. We can even start doing some analysis of some of the constituencies that have come in so far and see how it is looking like. For instance, let's say which results for maybe the Navrongo Central constituency, which was in the Upper East region. These are the figures we have for presidential. Yes. See, because of the closeness.
It's almost like half.
Yes,
split
almost
into
like half.
Two.
The closeness of it, 18,810 against 18,759. It's so close, and the remaining parties have been squeezed into this little ash bar, and it tells you the power and the might of these two parties, the NDC and the NPP.
You know that before the elections, there have been a series of polls. Key, it's the beneficence poll, which put the smaller parties all together at 1.7.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And there were many who were thinking, what? I mean, all these parties together, 1.7, but it does appear their performance is
confirming
showing, pushing towards that.
Because look at 2012. See, and again, it goes back to the issue where we mentioned that the NPP seem to have done pretty well in closing the gap, because here you can tell clearly that the blue was smaller. But look at that, 2016, and the blue splits to almost half. So it means that the NPP worked pretty well in the Navrongo Central constituency to get these numbers that they have been able to show. So, well, that and some of the other constituencies that are coming in would help us paint a better picture of even the regional breakdown. And we do not seem to have enough to look at the regional numbers.
That's right,
yet.
but we're still getting
it's looking
them,
good for all the
coming.
parties. We can only keep our fingers crossed and wait for the Electoral Commission to declare. But if you are watching us right now, and we believe you are, you would want to send us a message. What do you make of the results coming in so far? We are just putting it out as it is. We are not calling it. We just want you to, what do you make of it? Let us know on our various social media platforms, and we would read the message. We would actually engage you because we are happy that you stuck and stayed with us throughout the night till dawn. It is a few minutes after 5 a.m. and we are still here because we promised you comprehensive coverage, and that is what we are giving you here at your Election Command Center, TV3. We will be going back to the phone lines shortly to speak to some of our reporters who are still bringing in results. And you spoke earlier to Rabiu Al-Hassan, who talked about the Madina constituency.
Yes, the figures. Did you put something down?
Yes, for the Madina constituency, it looks like
the
Amadou Sorogo is losing, has lost, per the figures we have. Let's look at Madina in 2012. For 2012, Amadou Sorogo, who is the NDC's candidate, held onto that particular seat, and he's been one of the...
we may have to refresh.
Yes, the machine, because it looks like the figures seem to have jumped a bit. But if we look at Madina in 2012, we know clearly that Amadou Sorogo...
Madina, it's just Madina.
It's just Madina.
Madina constituency is Madina. We have Madina Lankwantanang.
Yes.
So anyway.
And the figures Rabiu mentioned show that the NDC had 36,688. 36,688, and the NPP had 37,600. And you know that for the parliamentary, it is by simple majority. So clearly shows that if it is what it is, then the NPP has taken a lead at the Madina constituency.
Right, Martin, we have some results coming in. Thomas Khan is joining us from the central region with some results. Mr. Khan, good morning, and thank you very much for staying up this early. Tell me what results you have.
Hello, good morning. Currently, I happen to be at the Cape Coast South constituency at the Collation Center, Cape Coast Town Hall to be precise. And then now I am reporting that the special vote is now being sorted out to be counted. And again, there is a projector here, and then currently there is the projection of the parliamentary results. Already 86 polling stations results have come out so far, and then I can.
So 86 out of how many?
Out of 95 polling stations.
Okay.
Yes, and then I can say that the NPP is in a command lead here at Cape Coast South. So looking at the trend, you can say so far what we have, so not certified, but what we have so far, it looks like there was skirt and blouse voting at Cape Coast South.
All right, so we'll be grateful if you have the figures for Cape Coast South parliamentary. We can take them. That is 86 polling stations out of 95. If you have them, we could take them whilst we wait for the rest to come in. So you would have to do this slowly and go over it.
Yes,
you know.
So if I should go, so far 86 polling stations out of 95.
Yes, please.
CPP 41, 41, CPP 41, NDP 14, the NDC 16,824, PPP 513, NPP 17,889, PNC 13, Independent, that is Jacob was saying, 10, and then over here they recorded 297 rejected ballots.
So these are presidential, right?
Exactly. We are.
What about parliamentary?
That is what is being collated now, and so for the presidential, we are waiting for the 9 other results to come in, 9 other polling stations to come in.
And the parliamentary, how many more are we waiting for?
They just started a while ago, so far.
Okay. All right, great. Thomas Khan. So I would like you to go over these presidential results again. You have Cape Coast South, 86 out of 95 polling stations, 9 or so outstanding, 9 outstanding. So give us the results again, CPP, NDP, NDC, in that order.
Yes, CPP 41, NDP 14, NDC 16,824, PPP 513, NPP 17,889, PNC 13, and independent candidates, that is Jacob Osei, 10, and they had 297 rejected ballots here.
Right, thanks very much, Thomas Khan. We'll be standing by to get the parliamentary results from you for Cape Coast South. Thanks for joining us. This is still your election command center, and you're live on 3FM 92.7. We're here waiting for results to come in. The Electoral Commission is yet to certify any results at all, and our reporters across the country are gradually at 5 a.m. moving towards the regional collation centers, and by early morning we should have an idea of what the results are look like. Martin.
Yep. The figures that our reporter just mentioned, we just quickly want to recap those figures for you. It says that clearly what it means is that the NPP has taken a lead in that constituency. That is the Cape Coast South constituency. We'll be taking a quick look at it to see who is the current member of parliament. But the numbers he gave are that for the NPP, they had 17,839. 17,839 as against the NDC's 16,824. 16,824. CPP had 41, NDP had 14, PNC had 13, and the independent candidate had 10. Unfortunately, total number of rejected ballots is a total of 297. That is quite substantial. for rejected ballots, but that is for the Cape Coast South constituency. We'll go to that quickly. I actually wanted to talk about the Madina constituency, but we'll come back to Madina. Let's look at the region, the constituency that our reporter just gave to us. Yes, Cape Coast South. Cape Coast South in 2012. This is Cape Coast South. There it is. Cape Coast South. These are the figures we have for 2012. Let's see 2015. Yeah, okay, so 2016 we have the presidential. We have the presidential results, and this is how it's looking like. And there you go, 16,824 as against the NPP. I beg your pardon. The NPP Nana Akufo-Addo's 17,889 actually, 889. So that's 50.75. But let's look at 2012. Has this constituency changed? Yes, it has. Yes, it has. So it means that the Cape Coast constituency, Cape Coast South constituency results have changed from 2012. In 2016, they have gone to a different party, that is the NPP. So there you have it. And it clearly shows that the current provisional figures we have from the Cape Coast constituency has put Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in a leading position.
In a comfortable lead with 9 more polling stations to come in.
So if relatively we do not know which specific constituencies, but let me just pull up the figures for the entire Cape Coast South constituency, and if they were to, if there are anything to go by, the regions, so Cape Coast South constituency, the total number of persons expected to turn up to vote were, let me just call that out, 56,756. That is, so 56,000. As against these numbers, it means that give or take, this should give us about 30.
Yes.
Thousand.
Roughly.
Roughly 30,000.
So around about 32?
Yes,
31.
about 32,000. So if 56,000 voted, and we're waiting for about 9 more constituencies, it could influence these figures, or it could tilt them. Yes, or it could add on or subtract from any of these. But for the provisional figures we have, the NPP seem to be in a comfortable position as we speak. So we can go back to that interesting development from the Madina constituency in the Greater Accra region. And as it stands right now, Amadou Sorogo, as we know, is not. So I just want to start from 2012. So 2012, this presidential, let's look at the parliamentary.
Don't forget, Amadou Sorogo has been in Parliament in Madina since several years.
Yes. I think, if not for anything, at least since 2000.
Yes.
Since 2000. So he is one of the
been around,
old
the Mugabes,
guns.
one of the Mugabes.
One of the old guns.
You're being nice. You don't want to say Mugabe. But he has been around for a long time. Yes. And I spoke with him on our constituency link.
Absolutely, yes.
He's quite a nice guy.
And the other difficulty for some would be the fact that is another experienced hand that we are losing, or that Parliament is losing, in terms of the years in Parliament, the parliamentary experience he has. But I mean, if someone doesn't get the chance, how then do they?
I mean, I don't believe in that experience thing, because
you don't?
I tell you, because before they went to Parliament, they had no experience. They gathered the experience along the line. So with modern research methods available and the opportunity for members of Parliament to hire the services of research officers, it's not an excuse to underperform in Parliament with the excuse you are less experienced. So if you go in and your experience doesn't shine, they kick you out.
Okay. That's a pretty interesting observation you make. So Amadou Sorogo got 52 in 2012, 52.07. The NPP's candidate got 43 in 2012, but look at 2016.
The candidates have changed.
Yeah, the 2016 figures we have.
Sadiq Boniface is a strong person in terms of...
Before coming to Madina, somewhere in the northern region, he had been a member of Parliament before.
I think Sisala West or something.
Yes. So it means that just like Ras Mubarak, he's tried 2 different constituencies and seemed to have worked for him this time around. So those are the figures. Clearly, the information we have
pretty shortly inputting Madina.
This man, Abubakar Sadiq Boniface, is likely to be going to Parliament on the ticket of the NPP for the Madina constituency. He's kicked out Awutu Senya.
And there were quite a lot of agitations in Madina over the approaches adopted by Boniface Sadiq and approaches adopted by Sorogo. Sorogo being the person who has been there for a very long time, was expected to have the majority of support base, whilst Sadiq Boniface adopted very low profile grassroots approaches, meeting people one-on-one. You know, if you recall, when they were picking nomination forms, Sorogo went with a whole entourage of fans supporting him and all of that, but Sadiq Boniface went alone. I mean, so quite a lot of dynamics have changed, and in our analysis, when we did the constituency link for Madina, it came out actually that Madina was likely to get a shift, in the sense that Boniface Sadiq is a strong former member of parliament and a former minister of state, and he could tilt the balance for Madina. So
it looks like
it was always like probability, but now it looks like that's what happened. You have more results for us?
Yes, we're going to the northern region now, because Jirapa constituency, we seem to have quite a substantial, substantial number of
Jirapa is in Upper
voters.
West.
So let's go to the Upper West region to find out what the figures are looking like for Jirapa. There it is. And the 2016 figures for the parliamentary have come in.
You are Nandom, I think.
Oh, how come? Okay, Jirapa.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Okay, so presidential figures for the Jirapa constituency, 2016, provisional. The NDC's candidate, John Dramani Mahama, 77.60%. He polled 1,763, as against Nana Akufo-Addo's 354, which is 15.58%. Let's look at
the 2012, because it looks like the figures are very And for 2012, so there's a lot more to come in.
So, absolutely, a lot more figures are expected.
I don't know about parliamentary, whether we have the full
for parliamentary
figures coming from parliamentary.
Parliamentary 2016, yes,
we do.
And looks like the NDC's candidate, with the provisional results we have for Jirapa, looks like the NDC's candidate, that is Francis Dakura, is likely to go to Parliament. He is in comfortable lead here, as against the NPP's Paita Song, Justice Song. He is under 10% of total votes cast. So the provisional results we have for the 2016 elections, Jirapa constituency, puts the NDC's parliamentary candidate in a comfortable position. And then also for the presidential, it looks like President John Dramani Mahama is also in a comfortable position. So the figures are coming in, and we're trying to crunch it and make sense out of it for you. And that's what we are here to do up until the Electoral Commission gives the final declaration.
And we're anxiously waiting. It should be any time soon. And I must say that the last election by this time, we're clearly in the know who is winning and where it is going. 2012, where was I?
I was around this time, before the Electoral Commission declared. I was in the Electoral Commission office when we were waiting for Afarijan to come. You know, by now
I was sitting on set drinking tea.
Yeah, I was inside the EC's office. I mean, we had just been tased. A group of journalists had been tased. That was the first time
you felt
police.
They put in some 1,000 volts through your body.
Yeah, so that was, you know, some of the hazards of the profession.
So you have some more results for us?
Quite an experience, yes. Esutifi North should be in the Ashanti region. So we go to the Ashanti region and look for Esutifi North. Esutifi North, Bonahaf region, I beg your pardon. Okay, so Esutifi North in the Bonahaf region, the figures we have for now, let me see, Esutifi North, we have some figures coming in for presidential, and the presidential results puts Nana Akufo-Addo in a lead which we can say is comfortable depending on the few that are left. But for the provisional results we have, Nana Akufo-Addo has polled 15,033 as against President Mahama's 10,732. So, percentage-wise, Nana Akufo-Addo has 57.95% as against President Mahama's 41.37%. Let's look at how that panned out in 2012. And
right. So it means that there's not a lot more, there's a few more to come.
A few more to come, that's true, because Nana Akufo-Addo in the Ashanti North managed, that's in 2012, he got 52.57%, that's against President Mahama's 46.63%. And in 2016, seems that the NPP has actually increased, per the few figures we have, the NPP has increased that tally by a few more percentage points. It got 57.9 as against the NDC's 41.3. Okay, so that's for the Ashanti North constituency provisional results. And let me find out if we also have for parliamentary. For parliamentary Ashanti North, do we have any figures?
Yes, we do have some figures coming in.
2016, and then it means that Joseph Daha of the NPP is in a comfortable position.
With at least a 10 percentage points lead.
Good.
That
yeah, and those
are
the
full data we're told.
Yeah,
so it means that until the Electoral Commission
says
declares
otherwise,
him winner.
Yeah.
No, now we're waiting for the Electoral Commission to declare him winner. I mean, because we must also get our viewers to understand that these figures we're getting are figures we're collating directly from the collation centers, which means that they have some bit of reliability on them, and we bring it to our viewers only when we're certain that they're the results that we need to put out there. So this is your election command center.
Absolutely. So we're looking at the Ashanti North constituency, and for the parliamentary, the NPP's candidate got 54.9%. As against the NDC's 44.6%. And I just tried to figure out how it looked like in 2012. In 2012, the NPP's, the same two gentlemen contested in 2012. Both of them went again in 2016. But it seems the NPP...
So that's the incumbent member of parliament.
Yes, so he has managed to retain
that seat. So that was a safe seat.
Yeah.
And
let's look at the margin.
But the margin was very small.
Very small. So in 2012, it was quite close. He had 51 as against 48. But in 2016, what are we looking at? 54 so it means about 5 or 7 votes or percentage points have joined, have come to add on to that of the NPP candidate. So that's for Ashanti North. Let's find out if we have presidential results for that. Yes, we do. And President Mahama got President Mahama got 41.3%. as against Nana Akufo-Addo's 57. So Ashanti North provisionally is safely in the hands of the New Patriotic Party. Is it part of the surprises? No, not really, because it's already a safe seat for the party.
Yeah, it's already a safe seat, and that's not a surprise.
And this is the constituency that the whole day has had a lot of people talking about it, Jaman North.
Jaman North. That's where the elections have been postponed to today.
Yes, so in the next few hours, Jaman North constituents will be going to vote. We hope that the issues that delayed it have been resolved. The Electoral Commission has assured that all those issues have been resolved. So by 7 a.m., which is just about
a couple of minutes to go.
Yes, an hour and a half from now, we'll be coming to bring you the Jaman North results in the next few minutes. Let's go to Nandom. Nandom constituency should be in the upper west, is it?
Nandom. Nandom. Oh, Nandom is upper east. Upper east.
West.
Upper east.
West.
Oh, upper west.
Nandom.
Okay, Nandom. That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so let's find out what figures we have for Nandom. These are provisional figures for Nandom presidential. And President John Dramani Mahama, 8,800 votes, and that translates to 67.89%, as against 3,876 of the NPP. and that translates to 29.90%. So
and that's an incredible win for President Mahama there.
Yes, sizable margin, respectfully. And let's look at 2012.
And those are the full figures actually coming in for Nandom. Let's look at the parliamentary and see how the trend is.
Yes, I just want to see how the trends have been as compared to 2012.
Yeah, that's right.
2012 seems that the NDC has increased.
Still maintained the lead.
Yes. So if in 2012 it got 70 as against 28, and in 2016 it got 67 as against 29. It means that
in terms of numbers,
yes,
it was
means that it lost quite a number of percentages, and the NPP gained a few of that. Let's look at the parliamentary for Nandom. Okay, that isn't in yet, but the current member of parliament for Nandom is Dr. Benjamin Kumbur. Yes, it's Kumbur.
Kumbur.
Yeah.
Kumbur.
So
I think that's the seat we're having reports that we got the figures from Nandom a while ago from our correspondent that points to the fact that Ambrose Dairy has won that seat.
True. Yeah. So it means that is one of the places that seem to have swung to the New Patriotic Party. Okay, so let's go to Garu. Garu Tempane should be in the north.
Upper East. No, Upper East region.
Oh, I need to find my bearings. Probably after the elections, we should take a good tour.
I lived for 2 years at Zabila. That's near to Garu.
That's Zabila.
Okay,
interesting. I need to travel across the country, especially the northern part. We will have a lot of funds there. I'll be going. So let's look at Garu Tempane. And the results we have for both presidential and parliamentary are still trickling in, but the figures, let me look at presidential.
Let's see, we have only Garu, because I'm seeing Garu Tempane. I'm not sure that it's been split. That has been split.
Okay, there is Garu here. Okay, yes, so probably this is the one we're talking about. Okay, so Garu, there you go. The figures we have for parliamentary have turned out to put the NDC in a good position, because the provisional results from Garu indicate that the NDC's parliamentary candidate, Alal Zoga, polled 12,809, making 53.6%, as against Samiri Al-Hassan of the NPP, 10,856, which is 45.4%. Let's look at 2012 and see whether or not how big these figures have changed or whether they've been maintained. Okay. So clearly,
so that's a new candidate.
Yes, the NDC. So Dominic Azuma was, for 2012, is the incumbent member of parliament for Garu. Yes, and then he seemed to have gotten 50.6 as against the incumbent, who has actually increased the tally to 53.6.
And for the second time, Samira Al-Hassan of the NPP lost. Must be very difficult, always fighting and losing.
Well. And to have gone against, I think Samiri stood in 2012, didn't win. They brought NDC, put up a new candidate, and still the NPP candidate. Let's look at presidential. President John Dramani Mahama, 61.04%. And the total votes that he garnered was 14,484. That represents 61. As against Nana Akufo-Addo, 8,806. And the percentage representation is 37, I beg your pardon, 37.1%. So that is the figure. Clearly, provisional figures for Garu indicate that President John Dramani Mahama is in a comfortable lead for the Garu constituency. And so those figures that are coming in, we're just collating and putting them together for you. We believe that in the next few minutes, I must say, the EC should be probably getting ready to let us know how the trends have gone, what they have to tell us, because we are all waiting anxiously, and we believe you are also waiting with us. We've kept vigil because we want you to get it firsthand here at your election command center, TV3. And the EC is, we are told that would wait for the results from the regional collation
it's
centers.
going to take some time.
Then they can cross-check, because the regional collation centers are also waiting for the constituency collation centers. So although it may look faster this time around, they need to cross-check and double-check to be sure that the figures they have is correct to the letter before they can put it out.
How would they do the checks?
Well, probably you send the figures
into the database, looking at the numbers.
And then the polling station executives of the various parties would also have to, and it was interesting. One of the court rulings said that now what we call the pink sheets should be signed by all the candidates, and then everyone given a copy. So when the final certified results are
all
given,
of them have a copy.
All of them have.
So that is why the people are able to compute results.
Absolutely. So it means that you cannot, if even you want to change, you cannot influence the change on all the papers, because in front of us, if we write 53 and I give it to you and you make yours 58, because 3 can easily be changed to 8, when we check with the other party reps,
we can see where the error is.
So it means they can easily track that.
That's true.
When we spoke to the gentleman, when there was an issue at the Asawase constituency, and we'll be going to the Ashanti region pretty shortly to find out how that issue has been resolved. You remember he said that elections are won at the polling stations. So it means that you need to be extra vigilant when you're at the polling station. And it's interesting that the parties seem to have taken that advice from, I believe, the Supreme Court Judge, Justice Atoguba, when he said that we should pay attention when we are at various polling stations where results, the voting itself is done. Let's go back to our results that are coming in. And the Greater Accra region, Ayawaso, we have Ayawaso Central.
Ayawaso East?
Ayawaso East is what we have, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to look for Ayawaso East because, there's Ayawaso North, Ayawaso East is here. Wonderful. So we have it, 2016.
So we have full results coming in for presidential and parliamentary.
Absolutely. So for the presidential, Ayawaso East, which is in the Greater Accra region, goes to the NDC's John Dramani Mahama, 21,194, making 60.3%, as against Nana Akufo-Addo's 13,635, which is 38.84%. Ayawaso East. Let's look at 2012, how the figures were. Okay,
pretty much the same.
Yes, pretty the same. The NDC got 27,000, which was 65.2, as against Nana Akufo-Addo's 14,000, which was 34. But look here, so the 60,000, the 65 in 2012 is now 60, and this was...
And the numbers went in favor.
This was 34, and now it's going to 38. So it means that
points gained.
Yes, percentage points.
And what's the situation for parliamentary?
Parliamentary. Let's find that out.
Also is a very keenly contested place.
Okay, we don't have parliamentary yet. We don't have parliamentary yet, but the incumbent member of parliament is the NDC's Nasem Toure, and he is in parliament on the ticket of the NDC with 65.44%. So we would certainly work to get you the results for the parliamentary candidates as well. So let's go to the phone lines now.
Right, we have to go quickly to the Western region, where we're joined on the line now by Benjamin William Peters, joining us with updates. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, do you have results or some breaking news? We're hearing that there is a possible recount in Elembele.
Yes, I'm currently at Elembele Constituency Collation Center. And what is happening now is it is not clear who is going to win for the parliamentary seat. Simply because one of the police station ballot papers is being recounted. That is Asawase and in Nandom North. The issue is during the writing down of the outcome of the result, the presiding member either mistakenly or intentionally added two ballot papers to the number. and some of the agents from the other side requested that there should be recount there, and it didn't come on there. So when they came, the number is closed, and they don't know who is going to win and that. So they have ordered that the recount should be. So now recounting is on the way. After that, then they will know who will take the seat.
So let's get it clear. This is a collation center, right?
Yeah, Collation Center.
So why is recounting taking place at the collation center? Is that the practice that when the results are contested, they do recount at collation centers? I would have thought that the recounts take place at the polling stations.
As for that one, it is because there's misunderstanding. And what they are saying is that until everything is settled, until the counting comes on, without the counting, they will not know who is going to take the seat. That is why they are doing it here.
Right, Benjamin William Peters, thanks very much. So do we have any results?
Results?
Do we have any results at all?
Currently, I'm still at the Collation Center, so I'm waiting for them. After the recounting, they will see who is going to take the seat. But even that, the presidential one, it is not clear now. What you can see now is the NPP, TPP is having a total of 82. NDP is having a total of 15. NDC is having a total of 12,008. PPP is having a total of 247. NPP is having a total of 13,569. PNC is having a total of 17. Independent, Yabwa, is having a total of 8. So far, valid votes is summed to 25,946. Rejected ballot papers is 304. So the total vote here is 26,250. And rejected votes is 38,487. So turnout here is 58,020. So that is what we have it now here.
Right. So that's the provisional results. Ebenezer Baka,
yes,
I need you to go over these figures again, so we can put them in our database.
Yes. The provisional results for the presidential candidate: TPP, a total of 82; NDP, total of 15; NDC, total of 12,008; PPP, total of 247; NPP, total of 13,569; PNC, 17; independent candidate 8. So valid vote is 25,946.
Right, Ebenezer Baka, thanks very much for that snap update. Ebenezer Baka joined us from Lembele constituency, where he's reporting that there is a possible recount there in order to get a clear direction which way the parliamentary results will go. But he has given us preliminary results which are provisional for the presidential, which are CPP 82, NDP 15, NDC 12,008, PPP 247, NPP 13,569, and PNC 17. So these are the results for provisional results from Lembele constituency. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. This is your Election Command Center, and you're live on 3FM 92.7. If you're in Tamale and you're listening to 3FM, then this is Kesmi 107.1 FM. You can also listen to us on the TuneIn app on your mobile phone. Good morning, and please stay with us. This is your Election Command Center. Welcome back to your election command center, and we have been keeping wake with you as we get the results coming in from across the country. We've had our reporters from Nandom, our reporters from Garu, reporters from Madina, everywhere coming in with the results, and we're inputting.
They deflate your momentum.
Welcome back to your election command center. Pretty shortly, it will be 6 a.m. and we will go for the news at 6. But before that, Martin is still standing by with some regional breakdowns of what we have so far. Martin.
Absolutely, I'm still standing here. I've got
You've
nowhere
done
to
incredibly
go.
well.
I've got nowhere to go.
You need a pay rise.
My boss should
tell that to your boss.
Yes. Okay, so we have some more figures coming in. Ofinsu South, Ofinsu North, that should be in the Ashanti region. Let's quickly go and take a look at them. The figures we have for the Ofinsu North and South constituencies, let's see if they are here. Yes, Ofinsu North is here. That's it. And for the 2016 presidential, we don't have it. Let's see, parliamentary. Right. Okay. We have parliamentary. Ofinsu North. Provisional figures we have. The NPPs in team, Augustine Collins, polled 17,558. That sums up to 53.77%, as against the NDC's 14,945, which is 45.77%. So per the provisional figures, the Ofinsu North constituency is going for the NPP. Let's look at 2012. Is it the same? Yeah. Yes. So that seat has been retained by the NPP for the parliamentary.
Is it the same candidate?
Yes, the same candidate in Tim Collins. As against the NDC's same Samuel Kojo Apiakubi. So both of them ran in 2012, both of them went in 2016, and the NPP has maintained the seat. We do not have presidential results yet, but let's go to its neighboring constituency, which is the Ofinsu South constituency. And the figures we have there for parliamentary are not in, but let's find out for the presidential. Yes, they are in. And President John Dramani Mahama got 13,863, which is 30.58%, as against Nana Akufo-Addo's 75, which is 68.55%. So per the provisional figures of the Ofinsu South constituency, we can safely say that Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party is in a comfortable lead, quite comfortable for him. In comparing that to 2012, the NDC got 33.8%, and NPP got 65.13%. But in 2016, the NDC got 30.5 as against 68.5 of the NPP. So those are the figures from the Ofinsu South constituency. So that seat has been retained by the New Patriotic Party. As per the provisional results
coming in. And I hear that we have some results coming in from Nkranza North. That should be in the Bunohafo region, isn't it? Nkranza North.
So it means that we need to go to the Bunohafo region for Nkranza North, which is here. Nkranza North for, well, okay, so
Right.
Well, we will certainly bring those figures.
Technology.
I think that just as the human capacity is running low, we need some rush energy drink. The machine also needs some rush
the Election
energy
Command
drink.
Center is refreshed by Verna, mineral water, healthy drinking, healthy living. And we're also supported by Rush Continuous Energy. Rush Energy non-stop. Pretty shortly we will be. It will be 6 a.m. I beg your pardon, and I will take the news. But Martin, we've had an incredible night with a lot of results coming in. Also, this morning we're waiting for Jaman North, the polls there to be conducted early this morning, and so we will be going there to get the
in about an hour, roughly
about an hour.
So which means that as we speak, electoral materials are being moved to the 79 polling stations for the Jaman North constituency. So whilst we've been here trying to work out the figures, our cartoonist Tilapia has also been putting all the candidates and all the issues happening in a very comical format. Let's look at what he has been busily doing, and then we'll come back shortly with the news.
Everybody got choices. Obian in your person, you stand for your own. So me kinda won't feel ya, but more than cano. So we need you one so but more than say yes. Everybody got choices. Me say Obian in your person, you stand for your own. So me kinda won't feel ya, but more than cano. So we need you one so but more than say yes. That's a one part. So we should we need you one so. That's a one part. That's a we should say we need you one. Yep. Nope. Yep. Nope. Frank Lucas. Yep. Everybody got choices. Obian in your person, you stand for your own. So me kinda won't feel ya, but more than cano. So we need you one so but more than say yes. Everybody got choices. Me say Obian in your person, you stand for your own. So me kinda won't feel ya, but more than cano. So we need you one so but more than say yes. That's a one part. So we should we need you one so. That's a one part. That's a we should say we need you one.
Right, welcome. So let's go back on to the telephone lines very quickly. We have Ajua Amofa Ose from Ablekuma West. Ajua, good morning. So what do you have for us this morning?
Good morning, Stephen. I'm still at the Collation Center of Ablekuma West constituency. Collation is still ongoing, but the incumbent MP, Madam Esla, also whom I spoke to a few minutes ago, is very positive that she herself would have a 60% plus win, and also the presidential candidate for the NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, would have a one-time victory. Already the NPP members in the constituency are here jubilating in their party apparel, and there's another funny twist. They are all holding calico and chanting Nana Calico, and they are all shouting changes here. But collation is still ongoing, and so we don't have the certified results yet. But the MPP members say they know what went on in the various polling centers.
But how many are you able to? Ajo, are you able to tell us how many polling stations have come in so far for Ablekuma West?
I don't have that statistic.
Right, that's fine.
Currently, I can revert to you in the next couple of minutes.
That's fine. Thanks very much. Ajua Amofa Ose is our reporter who is on the ground at Ablekuma West constituency. So, Martin, regional analysis, what do we have in terms of each region so far? A few regions in 30 seconds.
Yes. So, this is we are going to start with the swing regions and the provisional results we have. So this is the central region, 2016. The figures we have so far shows that the National Democratic Congress has some 38.9% as against 58.9% of the NPP. So for the 7th elections, the election that we have held, the central region has swung to the camp of the New Patriotic Party because the figures we have say so, and those are provisional figures. That is central region. Let's look at the Bonohaf region, which is also one of the swing regions that have been quite unstable. And for the Bonohaf region, the entire region says that as it stands now, provisionally, the NPP has 57.25% as against the NDC's 41.70%. And Central region, we've looked at. Bottom half region we've looked at. Let's look at Western region, which is also one of the swing regions. And what it says here is that the Western region says NPP 52,000 so far, and it is 55.7%. That's against the NDC.
Martin, I'm afraid it's now time for us to go over to do the news, and Bright Nana Amfo is ready with the news. Bright, good morning.
All right, good morning. I hope you're doing good too.
We have been here.
A long night, I guess.
We have. We're waiting for EC's results.
Bright walks in and says, yeah, you're doing good too. He has rested and is coming to fire right soon.
All right, we're grateful. And of course, from the Election Command Center, we're grateful that you have stayed with us all night, and the results coming in, and we're letting you know what's happening across the country. But time now for the news on the hour. All right, thanks so much for staying there. The campaign spokesperson of the National Democratic Congress, Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, has called on party supporters to remain calm while they wait official results from the Electoral Commission. She spoke earlier with my colleague Martin Asiedu Date on phone.
What is the mood in the camp of President John Dramani Mahama and the campaign team?
Well, thank you very much. We are actually very, very upbeat as we await the outcome of the election results.
How are these numbers hitting the campaign team? Are they looking good for the NDC?
Well, I think that so far, each and every political party actually has its own ways of, finding out these things. But I do also know that most of the results we've received for the time being are all provisional results, that indeed no complement actually of a full constituency has actually been received just yet. So it will be actually premature for us to start to put out all sorts of results. You know, one thing I've noticed about elections really, and it's very interesting, is actually like a pendulum. You think someone's in the lead and then it swings next. You think someone is winning and then something else goes on. So seriously, what I would actually call for is that we all await the outcome of a final declaration by the Electoral Commission.
Campaign spokesperson of the NDC, the Joyce Mokhtari, talking to Martin Asiedu Date. The Director of Elections of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, has described as treasonable the declaration of the flag bearer of the NPP, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as a winner of the yet-to-be-declared 2016 general elections. Now, condemning the act by the NPP, the campaign chairman, Peter McMahon, he said the action is a recipe for chaos in the country.
This act by the MPP is not only irresponsible and reckless, but it's a treasonable act perpetrated to undermine the peace and security of the country. It is yet another demonstration of the MPP resort to act that threatens the peace and security of this nation. We will ordinarily not be calling a press conference at this time of the morning, but intent of the MPP and the security of this country must be ensured at all times. From our parallel voters' tabulation, we have clear results from across the country on how our candidate, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, is doing. And we believe that he's doing very well across the length and breadth of the country. But as law-abiding party, we will not go contrary to the laws of this country and begin to declare our results by bringing out figures. The MPP's responsibility is one that all law-abiding citizens of the country must condemn, and we wish to bring this action of the MPP and its leader to the attention of the International Observer Group in the country and to who are here to monitor the election. The MPP is clearly rehashing 2004 and 2012, what they did.
And earlier, the campaign manager of the NPP, Peter McMeno, told the media that figures from the party's collation of the results from about 23,000 polling stations indicate their candidate, Nandom Dankwa, is leading with 54.91%. We'll bring that story back to you, the press conference earlier held by the NPP. And let's jump to the camp of the Peace Council, because the chairman, Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, has called on political parties not to usurp the powers of the Electoral Commission in announcing results. He was speaking to TV3-ELECTION Command Center after the NPP campaign manager called on President Mahama to concede defeat. Professor Asante noted it is only the Electoral Commission which has a constitutional mandate to declare winners of the elections.
As far as I'm concerned, whereas parties have the right to talk about provisional figures, as that's the reason why all of us are at this time of the morning awake. It is only the Electoral Commission that has the mandate, the constitutional mandate, to come up and to declare elections. And even in a situation where at the constituency levels, people have the pink sheet, one would have thought that, the leaders of this nation, and I'm talking about the political leaders of this nation, the two major parties, will be circumspect enough, and especially the NPP, because I'm saying the NPP because they came out to make a categorical statement that the president should concede. I heard it. That they should have been circumspect enough to at least come and say that on the basis of what we have, provisionally, we think we are winning, but we want our members to understand that it is the Electoral Commission alone that has the right to declare elections. Now, they are making claims that they have won. The president should concede. The NDC has also earlier on issued a letter, a statement stating that they are also winning, even though they didn't come up with any figures. I think these things are recipe for conflict that can degenerate into violence. I will plead with our two major political parties to respect the institutions the state has put in place, the Electoral Commission, and allow the Electoral Commission to do the job that the Constitution of this nation has given to them.
That's news on there, but stay on 3news.com. There is more news. The Election Command Center has more of the results from the various collation centers coming ahead after this break. Stay with us. We're coming back in just a minute.
Yep.
All right, this is Election Command Center, and it's a Thursday morning. We're grateful that throughout the night we served you and you stayed with us. Now, from now till the final drop of ballot is counted and the EC announces the final results. This is where you have to be, because there is nothing but all the results from across the centers. Don't forget that elections, some constituencies did not get the opportunity to vote, one of which, of course, one constituency, the Jaman North constituency in the Bono-Ahafo region, is voting this morning. Just about some 30 minutes from now, polls are expected to open in that constituency. Catherine Frimpoma is right there this morning, and she will be joining us soon and will tell us exactly the arrangement so far. But the EC says 7 a.m. Polling should start. Catherine, if you're there, good morning and grateful you're okay throughout the night. You've been telling us what's happening at the Collation Center. But in the Jaman North constituency, what can you report as of now, some 30 more minutes to the opening of polls?
So even though polling ended exactly at 5 p.m. at some polling centers in the Bono-Ahafo region, other places were also still voting even as at 6 p.m. because they still had long queues there. But as of 9 p.m., most of the collation centers were already putting figures together to come up with the total constituency number. But as of 5:20 a.m. Thursday morning, our checks indicate that no constituency result has been certified by the regional office. And so we are currently at the Bono-Ahafo Regional EC office to speak with the regional director to help us understand why things are happening this way. Good morning, Mr. Javan.
Good morning.
And is it not surprising or unusual that as of now, we don't have even one certified result from any constituency?
Thank you. Our officers are being cautious to make sure that whatever they will bring will be the exact results and there will be no faults in any way. So they are feverishly working on the results. From 9 o'clock going, most of them will bring their results.
But what exactly has been the challenge at the various collation centers?
Formerly, we were dealing with the manual, but this time it's two. They are doing the manual at the same time doing the automated one. So there's extra work, and because of that, it has delayed the results a little.
So what time are you anticipating to get the results in?
From 9 o'clock, the results will start coming, and by midday, most of the constituencies will be in.
Okay. Now, one of the constituencies, that is Jaman North constituency, is yet to go through the polls. Can you tell us what exactly happened yesterday that led to the decision to put the elections on hold in that area?
Yesterday, the situation there was so bad that the youth prevented us from moving our materials to the various centers. Now the issue has been resolved, and this morning the polling will start at 7 o'clock.
What was the issue?
They said the transfer list, what they have was different from what we have, but unfortunately they did not take their time to sit down with us to cross-check what was on our list. What actually happened was that about 23 names were repeated, and because of that there was difference between our list and their list.
So has everything been resolved now?
Now everything has been resolved. They've agreed that they are going to vote today. So by 7 o'clock this morning, the voting will start at Jaman North and end at 5 p.m.
So how do you think this is going to affect or influence the entire results for the region?
As we speak, we finished with the 28 constituencies. It's left with that one. So by the time all the 28 will be in, that one, they will almost have finished with the voting. And I think it will not have any negative impact on what has already come.
Okay, so that was the Bunahafo Regional EC Director, Mr. George Jaban, assuring us that in spite of Jaman North delaying in casting their ballots, that is not going to have any negative implications on the regional results. But the fact here is that as of 5:30 a.m. Thursday morning, there hasn't been any certified results from the regional office here. We will be monitoring the issues at Jaman North and update viewers as and when the incidents unfold. This is Catherine Frimpoma reporting from Sunyani in the Bunahafo region for TV3.
All right, and we'll tell you that in just about a few minutes from now, polling is expected to open in that constituency, and we will let you know if indeed elections there will take off at 7 a.m. But the news is also that no certified results is being announced in that constituency as of now. The Bunahafo region there. We'll tell you more about that. But let's go to the Upper East region this morning. The northern region, the northern region this morning, precisely the Tamale South Constituency. Godfrey Tanam is there and he has some updates for us. Constituency of the northern region there, and a lot more of the figures are dropping in, and we'll let you know, but our reporters will get us more from what is happening there, and we'll tell you exactly what's happening in that part of the country, northern region, precisely Tamale South Constituency. Some key figures are running through, and one of which is the fact that the Nanton constituency has decided in favor of the NPP parliamentary candidate. The Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry is said to have lost his seat in the Nanton constituency. Yep. That's interesting. The mighty really falling.
And if you go on social media, we are not entirely believing and accepting every information on social media, but some of the trends, for instance, on Twitter are pretty interesting. The EC is one of them. Hannah Tete has been among the top 3 almost every now and then. Indum is also there, and then Nadu Mills. These are keywords that have gone in and out of the top 5 trends of Twitter. It means people are talking about these issues. So, like Bright mentioned, figures that have come in and certified at the various collation centers, what we are putting on your screens right now. Right. Are you surprised?
No, for the Awutu constituency, I am not too surprised about what happened there by way of the figures. Eric Donald Arthur, who contested Afenyo, wasn't that key person, and particularly with the fact that that constituency seemed to have a particular behavior that they can swing and then come back. And so you could not put a finger as to who will receive any election year. But it looked... They allow you, in some cases, they allow the Member of Parliament just one term. In other situations, when you're expecting a renewal of the mandate of that MP, then there is a change. Now, if we were to go by the trends in the Awutu, someone would have said that, okay, Afenyo was going to lose. But this is a complete
shocker with even a margin. Absolutely.
Okay, and the margin too.
The surprise for many was that in the lead up to the elections, the likes of Eric Don Arthur, the NDC candidate, pushed his campaign extreme. And showed clearly that he was gaining grounds. And I remember that on Plus 275, you hosted both of them, and they dirtied themselves somewhat on set. But out of the studios of TV3, they shook hands to show that they were still, candidates who, although disagreed by ideology, were people from the same constituency. They had difficulty. But from the figures we are getting from the grounds, Afenyo Marking has retained the seat for the NPP. And looks like the NDC would have to do a lot more if it really wants to make any kind of impact, but that will be after 4 years.
All right. We'll see what happens there. But the Awutu constituency are gone for the NPP candidate there, Alexander Afenyo-Markin. The Fiamma Busie is that's the Upper West constituency.
Yes.
And Martin, this is not anything for me to be too excited about. It's not. There's nothing surprising about it. That constituency had always voted for the NDC. So 8,569 to 4,776. It tells you that.
I think the gentleman in question has also increased the margin.
The margin there.
As compared to 2012. And we'll be going to the board to do a proper comparative analysis of the trends as against 2012 and 2016. But as it stands now, he has managed to pull almost half of what the NPP candidate pulled in
almost 9,000 votes. You know, the Upper West. I've always looked at the Upper West region. Now that region, I do not want to say that they vote on party lines, even though some political watchers have said that the Upper West vote on party lines. I disagree because you see, the region votes because of what Mr. Rawlings did for the region. That was a region that had no electricity. That was a region that hadn't gotten a single road, motorable road from the other parts of the world. Mr. Rawlings came in there and took electricity to the Upper West region. In fact, you remember he was the one who actually created that region. He was the one to build the first road that led the northern region to that part of the country. And so the people there see the NDC as a kind of
a savior party that has
come. So you find them always voting the NDC, but even though the figures seem to be changing. So I'm not surprised that that constituency voted for the NDC.
Yes, that's the Efia constituency in the western region. And look at the margin there, 20,315 for the NPP candidate as against 11,995 for the NDC. And the Efia constituency is already an NPP seat.
They just retained the seat.
Yes, it's just a retention of that particular seat. So it is not too surprising, like you mentioned. But again, looking at the numbers, the NPP's numbers as against 2012 has gone up substantially. So we'll be doing a proper comparative analysis of the last few voting patterns as against 2016, but it clearly shows that the Efia constituency is going for the NPP.
The western region is talking quite differently this time, right? It's a surprise to poll watchers who think that the NDC was expected to do quite well in the region because of what was in the Green Book about the issues about cocoa roads, issues about what the party is doing there. Now, it looks for me that it didn't work. If you remember the banter between the president when he visited there and Nanton, where it became an issue, one said that the roads are in good shape, the other said, well, I didn't see it, and then it turned out that perhaps you didn't see it because you were sleeping. It is surprising that then there's a shift, and some of the crucial seats, Seshiru also, and others are changing. For instance, the NPP has won that seat, and that's quite interesting. So for me, the Western region is talking differently now, and we wait to see the total figures and the total parliamentary candidate who will get the opportunity to go to parliament from that Western part of the country. The Western region.
Nanton constituency, where we have the NDC polling 10,451 as against 11,346. And Nanton, you remember, is that constituency where the deputy minister seemed to have lost the seat, it was being held by the NDC. Right. It has slipped out of his hand.
He was the incumbent.
Yes, yeah, the incumbent. It slipped out to the NPP. I also remember that on a number of occasions that we've hosted him on TV3's shows, he was quite emphatic and confident. I'm talking about the NDC candidate, that he was going to win. And if the NPP candidate even comes anywhere close, it will be unbelievable.
Right.
But so then what happened? I think that a lot of us will probably, when daylight hits us, then we would now start soaking some of these news that is coming in from across the country about an example of how Nanton slipped through the hands of the NDC to the NPP. But
it's a shocker, Martin. It's indeed a shocker because this was an incumbent MP who showed that exuberance. He was very active on the ground. But you see, there's one key thing that we need to take a look at. We must begin to take a look at when we go into elections. The issue of MPs who are ministers and the ability to do what they do in government and also go to their constituency. It is becoming clear that the people now want to see you if you are the member of parliament. Did it affect Murtala? Is that the case? Did it affect Murtala? Was it because he was in Accra and virtually would have to go to the Nanton area on weekends? Is that how, why
But right, on that tangent, you know, he wouldn't be the only member of parliament who was a minister from a far quote-unquote constituency.
Right, or as a working also in government.
Exactly. So that particular dynamic may not be a factor for this defeat. I think that Murtala Mohammed's personality comes into question here. He is the type, I mentioned earlier, that he's the type that is more assertive. You know, he says it as it is. And it's not everybody who is able to, you know, relate to you pretty well. And because of that, there was this time he had a major issue on a radio station in that constituency, and it became quite a big issue.
All right.
So it looks like some of all of that have come to play
in this defeat. All right, let's jump to the Madina constituency, where we're told that the returning officer, Dilove Ayide Tony, has declared the NPP candidate Abubakar Boniface as the member of parliament elect following yesterday's polls. Now, he also declared the NPP as winners in the presidential contest in the constituency.
After the election, CUP had 76 votes, NDP had 33 votes, NDC had 36,688 votes, PPP had 495 votes, MPP had 37,600 votes, PCP had 19 votes, Independent had 13 votes. Total valid votes is 74,924. Total rejected votes is 423. Total vote cast is 75,347. I think this is the presidential election. With the parliamentary election, PPP had 639 votes. NDC had 32,182 votes. MPP had 41,112 votes. CPP had 337 votes. And independent candidate had 503 votes. Total valid votes is 74,773. Total rejected votes is 314 votes. Total vote cast is 75,087. With the parliamentary election, as you can all see and hear, the candidate for MPP in the person of Abubakar Siddiq Boniface had the highest vote. On behalf of the Electoral Commission, elected.
All right, and the winner of that constituency, the MP-elect, has been speaking to the media about his achievement.
First of all, I have to thank the Almighty Allah for taking me through this exercise. I need to thank the electorate who saw wisdom in my message, because I declared my vision and my mission.
Has the incumbent called to concede defeat?
He has not called me, but I saw his people. Before they left here, they had already conceded defeat. And that speaks for itself, because the most important thing was that right from where Atuguba told us that elections are won at the polling station, and I had beaten him throughout all the polling stations. About 90% of the polling stations I had won, and that itself deprived him from coming here. So I believe at the end of the day, you are the witnesses, and so I don't need to talk.
Were you expecting this gap?
Well, I don't have to be too excited, but at least I knew I was going to defeat him.
All right, and that's the Madina constituency of the Greater Accra region there. But I am hoping that that constituency will get what they want, because Amadou Sorogo has been on the seat for this is about the fourth time, yes. And the constituents have decided to change Amadou Sorogo and bring Boniface Abubakar there. Yeah. That's the results from the constituency. MP elect there. Now let's jump to the Ashanti region, and Evans Inkum is there in the Asawase constituency. And Evans, tell us exactly what's happening there.
43 polling station, and the coalition is still ongoing. I must say that the former member of parliament for the Asawase constituency is in commanding lead. So far, he has 27,583, representing 52.57%. Seydou Alidu, his closest contender from the MPP, has been able to gather a total of 24,442, representing 46.58%. So these are figures from a total of 121 polling stations out of 164 polling stations. So we are only left with 43 polling stations to decide who wins the Asawase parliamentary seat. But as things stand now, Mubarak Muntaka is in command lead as far as the Asawase constituency is concerned. So on your screens is the presidential result. Now the NDC has a commanding lead of 29,031. The MPP, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has 24,916. The PPP, Papa Kwesi Indiom, has 274. CPP, Ivor Greenstreet, has a total of 20. NDP, Nana Konedu Ajamai Rawlings, has a total of 30. And PNC, representing PNC, that is Dr. Edward Mahama, now has a total of 34 votes as far as the Asawase constituency is concerned. Remind you, we have captured 121 polling stations. We have a total of 164 polling stations in the Asawase constituency. So we are only left with 43 polling stations, and as I said early on, the NDC is in a commanding lead as far as the Asawase constituency is concerned. So I'll quickly go over the parliamentary results again. Muntaka Mubarak, the former MP, is leading with 27,583, representing 52.57%. Seydou Alidu of the NPP is also trailing behind with a total of 24,442. 442, representing 46.58%. So from 121 polling stations, we have a total vote cast of 50,343. Rejected ballots as now is 171. So let's just switch to the summary of the presidential results, which we are going to see on your screen very soon, for you to have a better understanding of how things are unfolding here as far as the Asawase constituency is concerned. All right, so there we go. We have Ivor Kobina Green Street of the Convention People's Party, who out of 127 polling stations captured has a total of 20 votes, and he representing 0.04%. Nana Konedu Ajimai Rawlings of the National Democratic Party, out of 127 polling stations captured, has a total of 30 votes, representing 0.05%. John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress, out of 127 polling stations captured, has a total of 29,031, representing 53.18%. And Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, out of 127 polling stations captured, has a total of 24,916, representing 45.64%. So currently the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is leading in the Asawase constituency with just 37 polling stations remaining. We will be coming to you with more updates as far as events unfold in the Asawase constituency is concerned. So you take it over from here, studios, but we will be coming again with more results. My name is William Evans Inkum. Over to you, studios.
William Evans Inkum there from the Asawase Constituency Collation Center there, talking to us about what has been happening there. Martin, are you surprised that that constituency is still battling as to who takes a clear lead?
For the parliamentary especially, yes, I am surprised. The interesting factor about the Asawase constituency is that when the NPP's candidate went to the Ashanti region, the last 2 times Nana Akufo-Addo went to the Ashanti region, his first point of call was the Asawase constituency, because over the years Asawase seemed to have voted for NDC, although it was in the stronghold of the NPP, and they intended to reduce or probably take the seat from the NDC, but that doesn't seem to be quite clear in terms of who is winning. But for the presidential, from the provisional results that Evans just mentioned, looks like Preston Mahama is in a marginal lead over there. It is the parliamentary that we are not too sure of, but we are hoping that maybe in the next few minutes we can tell where it has gone fully. But I think that Muntaka Mubarak has had some challenge with taking total hold of the constituency.
Well, let's see what happens at the end of collation there. But Evans will let us in on what happens at the final tallying of the figures. Now, the youth organizer, national youth organizer of the NPP, Samir Bawku, has been talking to the media after the earlier press conference this dawn.
People of Ghana, the Ghanaian people, they've taken a firm decision on how they want things to go.
And this means that the MPP will not accept any other results that will not go
unless they have results that are sharply in contrast with what was declared at the polling stations.
That is when the EC comes out with a different.
Well, absolutely. Unless they have results that clearly is seen sharp contrast to what happened at the various polling stations. And I don't expect the Electoral Commission today, I mean, in all honesty, apart from the problems we've had with them in the past, today at least there are timely briefings of events and all. To some of us, I think it was to purge themselves. But as we said, for the NPP, now let me use your medium to urge the youth of the NPP to celebrate in moderation and also to be magnanimous in victory. because you have a nation to build and we have a nation to continue. There are several problems that have bedeviled our country, issues of unemployment, and I think that the new government of the MPP will have to take its time to help solve some of these problems. So let's not aggravate the situation. In politics, it's a win or a loss, but nobody takes pride in defeat. It takes a very strong, courageous person. So let's not mock people, but instead, let us bring each other closer. Your NDC friend who voted for Mr. Mahama did not err, but instead expressed his opinion through the ballot. So you also did not err when you chose change over continuity. Yes, so I don't expect you see an NDC person attacking NPP person or NPP person attacking NDC. That is primitive. We have a country to govern. We have problems to solve in the country. But I think that in all this, the onus is on Mr. Mahama to also, just as Nandom showed him grace and showed him respect and showed the country grace and called Mr. Mahama after the August 29th Supreme Court decision. We expect President Mahama as well to also call Nandom. He's not asleep, his phone is on, and where he's having problems, he can reach out to any of the close aides, because based on the trend, His Excellency, the President knows where it is going. Let's not escalate the tension in our country. It's almost Christmas, and the mood is certainly lost. Ghanaians deserve a new breath. They deserve a new beginning, and we believe that the time is now.
All right, and we're grateful there. Ebenezer Jekum is joining us from the Okaikoi constituency, where the information trickling in is indicating that the NDC candidate is in some kind of lead. Eben, can you confirm this? All right, the Okaikoi constituency is where we're trying to reach. Reported the coalition is ongoing, and it's been quite a long night for coalition, and EC says it is taking time to double cross-check these figures. Eben is back on the phone lines. Eben, good morning. I hope you're doing great. Now, what can you tell us about what's happening there, Okaikoi constituency?
Yes. Thank you. And as you said, it's been a long night, and I'm sure it's going to be a long day too. I have something on the presidential counting the Okaikoi constituency. It has 172 polling stations. So far, we've counted 22 out of the 172 polling stations. So this is how I will give the figures in the way they appear on the ballot paper. CPP so far has 10 votes representing 0.12%. NDP 9 votes representing 0.11%. NDC 4,170 representing 49.63%. The PPP has 55 votes, representing 1.65%. MPP 4,076, representing 48.51%. We have the PNC having 1 vote, representing 0.01%. Independent candidate 1 vote, representing 0.01%. Let me go over the figures for you again. For the presidential at the Okaikoi constituency, a CPP so far has 10 votes representing 0.12%. The NDP has 9 votes representing 0.11%. NDC 4,170 votes representing 49.63%. PPP 55 votes representing 0.65%. NPP 4,076 representing 48.51%. PNC 1 vote representing 0.01%. Independent candidate 1 vote representing 0.01%. In all, for the 22 constituencies, we had 8,322 votes. Rejected votes so far, 80 of them. total registered voters for the Okaikoi constituency, 99,605. Then so far the total percentage turnout is 8.52%. That is, we just have only 22 polling stations counted. So that's what I have for you for now.
All right. So even 22 out of 160, is that what you said?
172.
Okay, 22 out of 170. So more of the polling centers yet to be added to. Eben, we're grateful. We'll stay on. We'll come back to you. And so, can we use this to jump into any conclusion? 22 out of 170 counted.
No, not at all. Not at all. You cannot determine the trend of vote because we would have preferred at least 50. At least 50
of the vote
of the polling centers. Then I mean 50 in terms of percent of the total.
Right.
So out of that 170
polling centers
or so polling stations. Yeah, if you can get half of that, just about 125 or more, then or 75, then we can say that okay, based on this, it is tilting in this direction or that. But 22 is too small
we can use that to
use. Yeah.
Right. So the Okaikoi constituency, they're still in the picture, yet to put a finger on who is winning that seat.
But for just a quick touch up on the figures we've had, it's actually pretty close for even the 22 that we have. Although we have a lot more to go. If we are to analyze just the 22, it looks like the NDC
head-to-head.
Very much so. NDC has 49.4. And then the NPP has 48.5, which means that if you are to round it off, NDC has 49%, NPP has also 49%, because 48.5, the 0.5 rolls on and becomes 49. So it means that it is very close head-to-head, but that's just for the 22 constituencies. So we clearly would have to monitor it and see how it rolls out.
I'm grateful, Martin. This is your Election Command Center, just at the top of the hour, and time now for the news. The campaign manager of the NPP, Peter McMahon, says figures from the party's collation of results from about 23,000 polling stations indicate their candidate Nandom Akufo-Addo is leading with 54.91%.
Nana Adodakwa Akufo-Addo has 4,676,998, and that represents 54.91%. President John Mahama has 3,694,724, representing 43.38%, and the rest of the other presidential candidates have 145,447, representing 1.71. So if you look at the entire polling stations in the country, 80% have reported their results, and we are confident that the remaining 20% cannot overturn the swing. 987. Ashanti, we have 4,884 polling stations with only 471 outstanding. Bro Ahafo, we have 2,554 polling stations with 438 outstanding. So the remaining 6,000 outstanding is made up of these figures and put the results declared at the polling stations collated together on our own barrel. The election tool. We think it's about time that we call on our opponents.
Meanwhile, the Director of Elections of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, has described as treasonable the declaration of the flag bearer of the NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, as winner of the yet-to-be-declared 2016 polls.
this act by the MPP is not only irresponsible and reckless, but it's a treasonable act perpetrated to undermine the peace and security of the country. It is yet another demonstration of the MPP resort to act that threatens the peace and security of this nation. We will ordinarily not be calling a press conference at this time of the morning, but intent of the MPP and the security of this country must be ensured at all times. From our parallel voters' tabulation, we have clear results from across the country on how our candidate, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, is doing, and we believe that he's doing very well across the length and breadth of the country. But as law-abiding party, we will not go contrary to the laws of this country and begin to declare our results by bringing out figures. The MPP's responsibility is one that all law-abiding citizens of the country must condemn, and we wish to bring this action of the MPP and its leader to the attention of the International Observer Group in the country and to who are here to monitor the election. The MPP is clearly rehashing 2004 and 2012, what they did.
The chairman of the National Peace Council, Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Kweku Asante, has called on political parties not to usurp the powers of the Electoral Commission in election results declaration. Speaking to TV3 Election Command Center with Steve Anti, he asked the campaign manager of the NPP, who called on President Mahama to concede as not too good. Professor Asante noted it is only the Electoral Commission which has the constitutional mandate to declare winners of the elections.
As far as I'm concerned, whereas parties have the right to talk about provisional figures, as that's the reason why all of us are at this time of the morning awake. It is only the Electoral Commission that has the mandate, the constitutional mandate, to come up and to declare elections. And even in a situation where at the constituency levels, people have the pink sheet, one would have thought that, the leaders of this nation, and I'm talking about the political leaders of this nation, the two major parties, will be circumspect enough, and especially the NPP, because I'm saying the NPP because they came out to make a categorical statement that the president should concede. I heard it. That they should have been circumspect enough to at least come and say that on the basis of what we have, provisionally, we think we are winning, but we want our members to understand that it is the Electoral Commission alone that has the right to declare elections. Now, they are making claims that they have won. The president should concede. The NDC has also earlier on issued a letter, a statement stating that they are also winning, even though they didn't come up with any figures. I think these things are recipe for conflict that can degenerate into violence. I will plead with our two major political parties to respect the institutions the state has put in place, the Electoral Commission, and allow the Electoral Commission to do the job that the Constitution of this nation has given to them.
And there's more news on 3news.com, but stay with us here at the Election Command Center because we're getting you all the results from across the country. Now, let's go to the Upper West region, to the Regional Collation Center. Abdul Gafaru is there. He's been following closely the collation of the results. Abdul, good morning, and hope you're strong and good. Now, what can you tell us from where you are?
Right. Currently, I'm at the Regional Collation Center here in Wa Central Constituency. Though coalition is still ongoing at the West Central Constituency, I have some results coming in from satisfied results coming in from Nandom and that of Tema Bute constituency. In the Tema Bute constituency, parliamentary NDP 8,569, NDC 8,569, MPP 4,776, MPP 4,776, APC 59, APC 59. Then I cross over to the presidential. CPP 48, CPP 48, NDP 26, NDP 26, NDC 8,981, NDC 8,981, PPP 117, PPP 117, MPP 3,959, 3,959, PNC 78, PNC 78, Independent 19, Independent 19. Now let's move to the Nandom constituency, where I also have satisfied results coming in from that place too. PPP 262, PPP 262, NDC 10,229, NDC 10,229, MPP 11,107, MPP 11,107. On the presidential, have CPP 49, CPP 49, NDP 32, NDP 32, NDC 13,085, NDC 13,085, PPP 223, PPP 223, MPP.
Hello, Gafaro.
MPP 7,839. I think we have some kind of challenge over here.
All right. Okay, Gafaro Abdul is at the Regional Collation Center. They will get back to him for a lot more on this result. Let's take a quick break. We're back in a moment.
No. Yep.
No.
Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes.
Everybody got choices. Obian in your person, you stand for your own. Say me kinda won't feel ya, but more than can know. So we need you one so about more than say yes.
Muhammadu Buhari tried 3 times and
Well, so good morning once again and welcome to your election command center. And this is Ghana's choice. It's too very much early to make a conclusive call. But then the picture is looking clearer and clearer by the minute as we speak at the moment. My name is Alfred Okanse. Martin Esiedudate is still here. He still has the steam, the vigor. I'll tell you the secret. And that's Rush Energy drink is keeping him awake and strong with all the energy right here. So we're going to run through another 6 straight hours of analysis of the results coming through. But it's safe to say that we have provisional results from almost 36 constituencies out of the 275. So it's very early to make any projections on the presidential.
True.
But then at least we still have the trend analysis and the superior historical analysis we've been doing, which we've been following keenly with what's happening in 2012 and then also what's happening now as we speak at the moment. And the new entrants as per the provisional results that have come through as yet, the new parliamentary entrants there. It's pretty interesting, the names that we're hearing. I'm going to run through some of the provisional results of the constituencies as have come through at the moment. But Martin, I mean, the picture and some of the results that are coming through for you doing the reflex analysis in 2012, what are the trends?
It's I think the right word to use, which you have used, is the fact that it is pretty interesting. And the other option of it is that there are those who are looking at what we have put across from the various polling stations. And it is really surprising, as you truly described it. The difficulty for many now is that long, loud silence by the Electoral Commission, that it is almost 24 hours since voting started. Because in the next 30 minutes, in fact, voting in Jaman North has started. So it shows that voting activity has ended almost 12 hours ago, but the Electoral Commission has yet to come out to say anything with regard to the fact that we have X, Y, Z confirmed or certified results. So it is increasingly difficult. People are agitated. People are uneasy. But I think that so far, the provisional results that have made rounds on social media, TV and radio is putting some people at ease, and some people are still quite uncomfortable about them. So I think the EC should, as a matter of urgency, not like we are pushing them though, but I think that they necessarily must start saying something, let people hear something, let the results be made known, clear. If even not the presidential, give us the parliamentary trends so people can start, either accepting or choosing to live in denial. So, but then so far as the EC gives the figures, it will let a lot of people be at ease. That is the difficulty for us right now. And we are hoping that in the next few minutes, the EC would speak. So a lot of our correspondents are still dotted across the major polling stations. And I'm told that we have Josephine Frimpong on the line from the Tema East constituency. Josephine, good morning, and if you can hear us, thank you for joining us. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Martin, and I have provisional results of Tema East here with me. And as Martin, if you can remember, Tema East was the constituency that the former member of Parliament, Honorable Titus Global.
Hello. The line
just when I was bracing myself up to hear what's happening there, because we know in 2012 that dramatic win for Titus Global in that constituency, it would have just been a very, very much of welcoming to hear what's happening now as we speak. I'm told that Josephine is back on the telephone. Let's hear what she has to tell us.
Josephine, if you can hear us, kindly go on.
Right, Martin. I was just informing viewers about Tema East, the provisional results that I have for Tema East. If you can remember that this is a seat which was occupied by the former Member of Parliament, Honorable Titus Global, which he used 3 votes to beat the former Metropolitan Chief Executive, Robert Kempis Ofosuware. But today, the story has virtually changed. As at dawn yesterday, we had all the results. And let me run you back to the provisional results we have currently. And for the entire constituency, NDC had 29,134. NPP polled 32,802. PNC also had 36. PPP had 325. CPP had 54. NDP had 36. These are the presidential results. Now let me go through the parliamentary. And for the NDC, we had 27,297. And the NPP had 31,355. The independent candidates, they also had 400. And the CPP also had 231. So, Martin, that is the current situation for Tema East, even though it's provisional, but it has generated so much joy for the supporters of the MPP. And in fact, I can report that as at yesterday from 2 a.m. till now, the whole place is just charged up. The former member of parliament has been on Jaman throughout to the morning. I mean, cheering up his people. But even though he's not satisfied, but with the provisional, we are still okay, Martin. So that is Tema East for you, Martin.
So does that mean Titus Glover has retained the seat? That's what it means, right?
Exactly. He has retained the seat with a very big margin. This time around, it is no more 3 votes. Very big margin.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. But does that mean he's likely to call for a recount, or he just accepted his fate and left the Collation Center?
Well, both of them have all accepted it. We are just waiting for it to be confirmed. Then I think that ends it for Tema East. So Tema East is full of excitement here.
Okay, thank you very much, Josephine Frimpong, with that report from the Tema East constituency. And that means that Honorable Titus Glover will be going back to Parliament.
Absolutely. And then I think save the drama. Save the drama for 2012 and what we had in our minds. 3 votes is what he used to beat Kempis Ofosuware. And I remember that kind of controversy, the recount that was called and eventually confirmed. With this provisional results we're having from the Tema East constituency, a huge margin of just about 2,700 thereabouts between him and lawyer James Enu. Lawyer James Enu is the NDC parliamentary candidate for the Tema East constituency for 2016. Kempis does not contest again. Okay, so there were many who were looking at him trying again, because just 3 votes in 2012, you clearly have a chance of also giving Titus Glover a good run for his money. But he did not contest lawyer James Enu, who they used to call him the showboy of the constituency, very calm and collected. There were many who also questioned his demeanor, but he had his own style of going about his campaign. So this result has given a boost to Titus Glover's, what did I say, his hold on the constituency. Because if there's anything to go by, this result has clearly confirmed exactly what we've been talking about all the while. And
I also do appreciate the fact that looking at the way the voting has gone, I think that someone decided to make a more strong statement this time around by allowing the margin to be clear and wide, so then we do not have to go through that tedious recount process. So like you mentioned, I think that because the candidate, the NDC candidate who contested against Titus Glover did not go this time, it probably was the reason why there has been that margin. So acceptably so, we would say that
how that pans out as
congratulations as it stands now to Titus Glover
for that particular constituency. We keep an eye on the Tema West constituency as well, and what will be coming out as well. But if you look at that margin between himself and the candidate, we'll come to the Tema West constituency with that particular analysis of that NDC parliamentary candidate there. Let's go to Michael Addo quickly, and he's going to join us on the telephone. Michael, thank you very much for your time this morning. Now, if you could just tell us the provisional results you have, where you are, Michael.
Okaikoi North. Good morning, and we're currently here at the Collation Center, the Immaculate Conception polling station, where the EC official is declaring the certified results or the provisional results for the just ended parliamentary and presidential elections here at the Okaikoi North. So I'll just hand you over straight to him, so maybe you can take live what he's telling us here.
Great.
A new honorable now elected.
Michael. Okay,
yes,
so yes, I think he was trying to connect us to the
EC official who is declaring the results.
Let's go to my poll. My poll is at Ladadekotopon. That constituency was rocked with some skirmishes last night into the early hours of this morning. My Paul, thank you very much for your time this morning. What's happening in the Ladadekotopon constituency?
Actually, NPP supporters are patiently waiting for the EC to declare the certified results, because it's plain that the incumbent has lost the seat, and the aspiring NPP Vincent Soa has won the seat actually. So right now, what's going on is they are collating. They have finished counting the ballots, and now they are collating. And within an hour time, the results will be declared.
Okay, but earlier on, you told us about some disturbances there. What's the security situation in that constituency, considering what could be the reaction after the results have been finally declared by the Electoral Commission officials there?
Yes. Because of what happened last night, security here is very tight. You find military men in strategic places, vigilant, ensuring that there is safety of the ballots, and they are not taking anything for granted at all.
Thank you, my Paul. We'll come back to you again. My Paul Soa there is in the Ladadekotopon constituency. So per the provisional results which you put out there and did the analysis a few minutes ago, that constituency, safe to say by provisional results, that Vincent Odota Soa, they call him Obama. One-time football administrator, get into politics. By provisional results that we have, seems to have clinched that particular seat. We'll wait for the official confirmation from the Electoral Commission, but by the provisional results, the NPP is being very cautiously optimistic there as we speak at the moment, considering what happened last night. And you see, the reaction has been a lot more worrying in some places because of the violence that has characterized those other places. But then let's cast our minds back to what's happening in the Tema East and West constituency. I think those areas is something we would have to watch with Titus Glover and his victory over the NDC candidate there. And I must state on record that the NDC candidate actually is a woman in that constituency. And then for Tema West, as lawyer James Eno. So it'll be very interesting to see the trend analysis and how dynamics panel. But I know that you're going to do the 2012 analysis when we get onto the board very shortly. But
the information we are picking from the few figures that have come in so far from the Ladadekotopon constituency clearly tells us that the dynamics are changing, the swing is going in a particular direction, but we will want the Electoral Commission to give the declaration before we put it. But the provisional figures are clearly in favor of the NPP's candidate in that constituency. So we will keep an eye on all the collation centers. The figures are coming in really thick figures, and I will make sense of it for you in the next few minutes. Stay
absolutely, absolutely. So the candidate whom we're going to be finding out how the reaction will be in the Tema East constituency, Alice Edu, we'll see how the supporters there react to this. But we're going to go quickly to the nerve center of the election command center here on your election command center here. And quickly, we're getting to the analysis with Bright, Nana Amfo, and his guests who are there as we speak at the moment. Bright, if you can hear me, take it over at the command center and let's do the analysis. From there, we'll come back for some more provisional results.
And Alfred, I'm grateful for your time there, and stay with us. This is Election Command Center, and the figures gradually coming in, except that these are all projections from us. They are not certified by the Electoral Commission. They are our own projections, provisional figures as we have known them. They are not from the Electoral Commission. That's what we want to let you know. We're grateful for you staying there with us throughout. This is a command center, and this is where we tell you what is happening. My guest already seated. To my extreme left is a former chief director of the Electoral Commission, currently working with the Center for African Democratic Affairs, Mr. Kwame Tamwajima. Mr. Ajima, good morning.
Morning.
And I hope you're doing good.
Well, by His grace.
I'm sure you might have stayed all night following the results.
I didn't stay up because I knew the trip.
Okay. We're grateful for your time with us this morning. Okay. Thank you much for joining us. And then he's a known face on our morning show. Dr. Ahmed Jinapo is a lecturer at the University of Education, Winba. Good morning to you. And were you tracking the results?
Well, I stayed all night.
Okay.
Honestly, I happen to have gone to my constituency in Northern Region Bupe precisely to vote, and I came back yesterday.
It's, letting people understand what's been done, the measures being taken. I think it's an awesome thing. And I think so far so good for the EC's performance.
All right, I'm grateful. Dr. Kobe Mensah, welcome to this morning. And from now till about when we get up, we're going to take a look at what's happened, what's happening and what is to happen, and see if we can make some sense out of it. Now, let's start this way. Mr. Kwame Damo, let me start with you. The voting process was expected to be quiet, even though we were ready for any eventuality that might happen. The second danger was when counting starts. The whole of last night, after 5 p.m., counting has been going on and on. We have had incidents, but would you largely say that counting that will normally result in the confusion, having seen that confusion, and that at least we have a peaceful process up to now?
Yeah, really, this year's election has been well organized. That's from my point of view. We haven't heard of any incidents apart from maybe the Jaman North where materials and discrepancy over statistics. But statistics is very key in elections.
Right.
So it was good that they all had to come to a consensus, suspend and do it this morning. The only fear is that after a neighboring constituencies has finished, there's a probability of political parties trying to bus in their people to go around to intimidate and do all sorts of things. So my appeal will be to the security services that they should intensify their patrols within that particular constituency. But by and large, everything went on smoothly.
And of course, the credit goes to the Electoral Commission. Yeah. Dr. Jinapo, so the fear was when counting begins, and that is where we find ballot snatching. That is when we find people trying to interfere with the counting process, and that was where then there's a concern that it could run into chaos. But at least, can we say so far so good?
Well, I think I happen to have had the opportunity to vote quite early, and I must say it was quite surprising to me, the ease with which I went through the process. Regarding the issue of counting, to be honest with you, probably there were some people who had the skepticism regarding how it could be done smoothly, but I never contemplated in my mind that it was going to be an issue. In the sense that I've had the opportunity of being a presiding officer, or is it somebody in charge of a polling station?
Of a polling station, right.
And during my time, I thought it was so easy. And even watching the footage that TV3 has put out, you realize that most of the times when even the counting is done, it's raised up for people to see. Indeed, I agree with the director, the former
Dr.
director, Mr. Jaman, that it's too early for us to applaud the Electoral Commission for what it has done. But by and large, I would say this has been one of the most transparent, peaceful elections that the good people of this country have had. And I will not only applaud the Electoral Commission, but I think the citizenry also needs to be applauded for conducting themselves well. It looks as if the good people of this country have come to accept democracy. They've come to accept the fact that one of the means or the most important vehicle of democracy is through the ballot box. And you vote and you leave the place. After voting, I didn't stay to wait for them to count, but I witnessed about 2 or 3 places where the counting was being done. And the people themselves have created some space for the electoral officials to do the counting. So I think by and large, as it stands now, we've moved from polling stations to collation. So the issue of counting, we've passed that. So we can say that it's been a success. Now we are with what? Collation, which simply means putting figures together. So let's wait and see how things go out. But at the end of the day, I think it's been a successful election and we should pat ourselves at the back.
Let's stay on this a bit. Perhaps I'll go back to Mr. Damwajima before, but you can answer this. Are you suggesting that we cannot applaud the EC now because the stage where we have reached, we cannot say that we are in the drive seat to a successful election from the point of organization of the Electoral Commission? If you want to put that side by side what we saw with the special voting?
Yeah, with special voting, it was in a total mess. You see, communication was not good with the special voting. That's what I saw myself.
Right.
You see, with the special voting, it's not a free-for-all exercise. It's for specific people like the security services, media, and so on. And they should first and foremost be registered voters. And they should be registered or transfer their votes to the constituencies where they wanted to vote. So there was a problem between the commission and the agency heads.
Right.
The communication was not fully implemented.
So we cannot fault the Electoral Commission for whatever.
The Electoral Commission should have told the agency heads specific information they needed. It's not just a list with names, but at least let the person who wants to vote know that if you haven't transferred your vote to the particular place where you are living now, then you rather qualify to vote where you did your registration. This accounted for names going somewhere, you go to the location and your name is not there. But if they had been told, they would have done the proper thing. So it's communication that failed us.
All right.
Yes.
And so based on that, we can then zoom into what we are collating now and say that perhaps we learned our lessons and there's been improvement on what we have done yesterday and today. We can do that. Yes. I'm grateful. Dr. Kobi-Mensah, so your initial comments on the success of the exercise so far, where we are, where we started, special voting, the chaos, the expectations of the general voting, and where we are.
All right, thanks very much. Thank you for having me. Now, I think that first of all, we can actually map out the entire process into episodes. You know, obviously from the period of registration, the period of checking whether your names are there, then special voting, then during the time of transferring logistics to the polling centers, then to people filing in to vote, and then to cross-checking whether you are verification, and then whether you actually registered and voted, and then the counting and collation. So we can actually spread the entire process into episodes, and I think that I'm hoping that the EC would do that post-election to see whether there were shortfalls, right, and then where the shortfalls were and how they can actually rectify it. I think that kudos to them. It's been fantastic. I have loved the kind of stakeholder engagement approach that they've had. I mean, over the period, you see the EC officials, and it hasn't actually been the EC commissioner. It's been other EC officials in the process briefing people. And then we, at some point, as of yesterday, we saw about 2-hour kind of, update from the EC, especially when the decision was taken about Jaman North, whether they have to postpone it or whether they have to let it go. Immediately, the parties actually met, and Asidin Kete was talking about the stakeholders meeting and having discussions and agreeing that perhaps they must actually postpone. And I think the EC official there couldn't actually get authorization from the EC, apparently for maybe communication and lapses, etc. So the EC quickly came back to say that we haven't actually given the mandate for it to be postponed. So they were going to go ahead. But then obviously when they saw the challenge, they came back to say, no, we think it's a good thing to postpone. That was timely kind of information. And immediately you do that engagement, you calm nerves, and you let people see the transparent process on which you're actually delivering the service. And I think I like that. So I think that going forward, we probably want to map out the entire process into episodes and look at whether we have perfected some of the things or we are lacking on some of it, especially when it comes to transfer of votes. And especially that's what happened in the special voting period. I think we haven't mastered the transfer of votes. And even if we have, people still are apprehensive or people are anxious about it. There are a lot of people who think that when you transfer your vote, you're likely not to vote because you may not see your details, where you transfer to. So a lot of people, although would like to transfer, they hadn't transferred as a result of that fear that they have, which means that we haven't mastered that particular angle. So I think that perhaps the EC would want to look into it into detail and then look at what is making the transfer of votes very difficult, very complicated, and very suspicious, and address that issue. And I think when we are able to do that, the special voting will be successful next time. I think it is as a matter of the transfer issue. That's why the special voting actually went the way it did. But I think that they must be commended. Obviously, they shouldn't be all happy because we are not yet done. We still have significant work to do. So we must actually tarry. Everybody must tarry and make sure that we can actually get to this conclusion. But all in all, I think it's been excellent.
Great. Dr. Ahmed Jenapo, let me come to you again. Should we be overly worried that we do not have certified results from the Electoral Commission as of now?
Well, in fact, I try to cast my mind back to what happened in the previous elections. And when we are being asked that should we be worried for the EC not coming out with certified results, I ask myself, do the EC normally come out with certified results publicly by announcing that, let's say, Yape Kosovo constituency, this person, presidential candidate, had this, this number of...
Dr. Ahmed, hold your thought for me a moment. I'll come back to you. It's just 8 o'clock on the top of the hour. We go to the news hub for news on the hour.
Okay, so Bright now for the Bright. Thank you very much from the Nerve Center of your Election Command Center here. This has been the third day of our superior analysis and the coverage of election 2016 as the results keep coming in. Nanekia Abrampa is here. Morning to you, Nanekia.
Hello, good morning to you, Alfred.
How's it looking? You've just come out from there. How's the picture looking as we speak outside there?
Well, it would surprise you, even though today is not a holiday. When you hit the streets of Accra, it looks like a holiday. I don't know if we still have some voters still at the collation centers, but all in all, calm is in town. The mood is normal.
People are going
Everyone
about their
going
business.
About normal
They're
day
going
business.
to work.
Right.
Well, we've been spending, the first 3 days here, so we're feeling the ambiance.
I can see it in your eyes.
But it is well. For God.
Refreshed morning for me. Good morning to you, and thanks for staying with your Election Command Center till now. My name is Nanekia Mensah Abrampa, and we're still getting more results from the various collation centers from the various constituencies. But soon after results started trickling into the strong room of the NPP, TV3 captured the mood at Nana Akufo-Addo's Rich office.
Thank you. God is great. God is great. Everywhere. Yes. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
To all of us.
Thank you. We thank God.
Why, so you have the pictures there on your screen soon after results started trickling into the strong room of the MPP. TV3 captured these scenes. That is the general mood there at Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's Ridge residence. And in your shots there, Wyatt, you see the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa, there. Well, I don't know if he's talking to someone in the vehicle or he is entering the vehicle, but those are the shots there for you, the mood at his residence, at, that is his office around Ridge in Accra. Now to more updates on Wednesday. The Electoral Commission Ghana postponed to today, Thursday, December 8, elections at Jaman North Constituency in the Bono Ahafo region. The Director of Electoral Services at the Commission, Samuel Tete, made the announcement minutes after close of general polls on Wednesday.
The Jaman North Constituency has been the only case where we have had a significant challenge. As a result of disagreements between the political parties on the voters' register, voting did not start at 7 as planned. After much discussion among the EC and parties, the issue of the register was resolved at around 12 o'clock. A decision taken by the District Security Council to postpone the elections without clearance from the Commission was overruled, and the Commission instructed that voting should proceed. This means that there was an earlier decision by the DISEC, and they did not actually consult the Commission. So the decision taken by DISEC was overruled. However, several efforts by our officers to move materials to the 92 polling stations in the constituency was unsuccessful. The security teams on the field could not guarantee the safe environment for the polls to continue. Therefore, as a result of the security challenge, the Commission has decided to reschedule the elections in the Jaman North constituency to tomorrow, Thursday, December 8, 2016. And as usual, voting will start from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. at all polling stations in the Jaman North constituency.
Why, so per the Electoral Commission's directive, we understand voting is underway in Jaman North constituency, and our men are on the ground there getting proceedings as to how the process is ongoing. Soon, quite shortly, we will be giving you more regarding that particular constituency right here on your election command center. That will do for the only news for now, Alfred. Oh, well, Nanekia, thank you very much. I know you'll be coming in that would do this a lot more, but grateful for this. But let me just say also that we have provisional results coming through for about 37 constituencies so far. Now, what we're going to be doing is to be doing the trend analysis when we get onto the touch screen shortly. But let's cross over to the nerve center of your election command center. Bright Nanamfo is going to continue his conversation with the guests, very honorable guests that we have in there to help us understand the issues that have characterized this particular process since the provisional results began, some of the issues of violence that have characterized the provisional results announcement, and then the confirmations as well that has come from the Electoral Commission officials at the constituency level. Bright, if you can hear me, you can take it over with the conversation.
And my guests are also here. Dr. Kwame Mensah, lecturer at University of Ghana Business School and a political marketing expert, is here with me. Dr. Ahmed Chinapor of the University of Education, Winneba, is also here. And Mr. Kwame Achiman, former director of the Electoral Commission, now working with the Center for African Democratic Affairs, is here with me. Gentlemen, I'm grateful for your time once again. But Dr. Chinapor, let me come back to you. So we left off when with the concerns that the EC seems in getting figures, and even though media houses are projecting some figures, they talk about certified figures from the Electoral Commission.
I think, right, it's important for us to take a step back and try to interrogate when we say something is certified vis-a-vis provisional, what does it mean? Unfortunately, I think prior to this election, we did not quiz the Electoral Commission to be clear as to what constitutes certified. In the sense that when we say certified, are we looking at the results being released at the national headquarters or even at the polling station or the Collation center? Because results are not released just in a vacuum. It goes through a process. It starts at the polling station. The person who is in charge, who is the presiding officer, who is an Electoral Commission, a member working for the Electoral Commission, declares the results at the polling station. So if TV3 happens to be there at a polling station A, then the electoral officer says NDC had A, NPP had B, CPP had C. The three parties agree that this is a true reflection of the head count. Mind you, election is a head count. Then your station picks it and reports it. Is it authentic? Is it certified or not? My interest is that at the end of the day, I don't know how many quote-unquote certified results have been released by Electoral Commission, but the interest should be the results that are being released by Electoral Commission, are they in tandem with the provisional results? That is where the focus should be, because it all boils down to trust. Let's say at Yapi Kosovo constituency, my constituency, the provisional results that was announced by TV3 is 1,300. The certified results released by Electoral Commission is 1,300. So you look at 30 or whatever certified results that have been released, you juxtapose that with what? The provisional results. If they are in tandem, if there's no difference, if there's no variance, then it means that everything is going on smoothly. Interestingly, those that are calling for a quick release of the quote-unquote certified results are those that are a little bit suspicious, because you agree with me that this whole process has been characterized with a lot of mistrust, a lot of suspicion, and even as of now, there are some who still are wary of the Electoral Commission. But I do not think the whole issue about certified provisional is an issue. The issue is, do the major or do Ghanaians have confidence in the process? Do they have confidence? I went to vote at my constituency. I voted. Did my vote reflect in what is being given out? And that is where the interest should be. So I think we should calm our nerves. We shouldn't be too agitant in terms of the quick release of certified results, because I don't think that, indeed, Donald Trump was declared by the media. Right. That's what happened. I think we've moved beyond the stage where the Electoral Commission, even though they do have the mandate to declare results, as I sit here, I know how the election is going. Why? Is it because no certified results have been released? Yes, because I heard it from TV3. And will I say that the results being given by TV3 are they authentic? Yes, because they've not been disputed. If they're disputed, then there's a problem. So I think most Ghanaians know where things are going. Even the politicians know where things are going. So the whole issue about certified provisional, it's just, if you ask me, there are terminologies that are being used. But at the end of the day, is it that the results that are being given out are true reflection of what was declared at the polling station?
I see. Mr. Damohaji, so does it mean that the media will be asking for too much if they keep asking the Electoral Commission for certified results?
No, it is the duty of the Electoral Commission to release the results as they come in. There is no need holding people's patience. If you've got a result, it should be released. But you see, there is one catch here. When they talk about provisional, the responsibility is on the Electoral Commission to conduct and declare results.
Sure.
Or the other, the returning officer too will have to communicate to the headquarters. And whatever he or she is doing is also subject to responsibility. Delegation of authority is not a goodbye to responsibility. So that's why they put that catch, that it should be provisional. Whatever you do, you may have it, there wouldn't be any variation from it. But let the final authority say it. But that doesn't give the final authority the leisure to hold the whole country to ransom. At least we know there have been 1 or 2 provisional final results. Provisional. So for instance, constituency results. We talk about it, provisional. What is holding them? By now, they have got the results. All that they do is when they fax it, they only print it out and show it to the party reps. If they also have got their copies and they agree that there's no change, it should go to the national board. So by now, at least some 30, 40 constituencies that we hear have been provisionally announced, they should have put them back so that we get them as final. But holding our patience is not helping anybody's pressure. Yes, sir.
Where would they be putting it up?
Well, so the regional collation centers, the constituency collation centers, all of them
where are they putting
have places where those things are supposed to. And the EC's website, we're told, is to be working and should have these things.
I think. Mr. Damo's, Mr. Jaman's education is very necessary, for us to understand that the responsibility rests with the commissioners, and therefore there is what they call delegated powers, which is very limited, when it comes to. So I think that's crucial. But I support the idea that they don't come out to release, even if it's 30% of. I would actually plea to disagree on that particular position, because the possibility of what they call parties using that for propaganda is massive. We know what the political parties can do in this country. I mean, they can card stack it. In terms of propaganda, terminology, we say card stacking.
But if it's certified and the parties want to use it, it shouldn't be a problem.
The country is very diverse. And if someone actually say, oh, we have 110,000 votes, we are winning or we've won, and you are in a very, a very isolated village, and you go with that excitement, and then later on you're not winning, but somebody's winning, it will bring chaos. So I think that for the purposes of holding the country together and making sure that people just don't start celebrating, jubilating when they haven't won it, for that sake, we need to actually preserve, and then make sure that we put everything together before it is released. Remember, the EC has the responsibility to keep this country together, and you don't want people to get excited later to be shut down to say, oh, you didn't win it. That would bring a lot of hardship, untold, difficulties on people. So I agree that, yes, in as much as we have, so to speak, certified or agreed upon, results, it is very necessary that we don't release it. Otherwise, people will use it for propaganda purposes, and they would actually set people disappointed.
Right. Can I just...
Okay, quickly, because I want us to look at a broader fallout of the figures, the provisional figures we're announcing. But please go ahead.
Yeah, I think the submission of my position on this issue still is in line with what the former director said.
Might say.
Because let me give you a typical example. You guys announced or you showed what happened at Madina Abukubi.
Right.
In fact, the results was being mentioned.
That is a certified result.
It's a certified.
Yes, that's a certified
result.
Right.
What does certified mean in this place? What it means is that the presiding officer or the returning officer who has collated all the results said that, look, based on our collation, this gentleman has won. Does it make it satisfied? Based on the explanation being given, probably not, because what he's saying is that it has to go through a certain channel. Did those results go through the regional to the headquarters? No. As at the time that it was being announced, no, because it happened at the collation, at the collation center.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It happened at the collation center. The collation officer added all the results from the various polling stations in front of the cameras, in front of the the major political parties. Said, look, this is what this man had. Do you disagree or not? They said, yes. It is announced. This man is the what? The MP elect. That said, Does it negate the whole concept of certification? Yes, because certification in this context means that it has to go through the regional office and go to the national office.
All right. I think some education, but I think that for the constituency, at the constituency level, yes, certification is done at the collation center. Yes. So the returning officer is mandated legality and certified. That is it. Yes. It's a presidential election that the chairperson is the returning officer for the whole country.
At the end of the day, the presidential results that are announced at the constituency, which is deemed provisional, becomes problematic when it is at variance with what is mentioned at the national because the returning officer for the national is the electoral commissioner. But based on what we've seen, which is announced by the media, which is deemed provisional, I'm saying that at the end of the day, it gives us an idea. So this whole call for certified results, for me, is rushed because no matter how you look at it, we know what is going on.
All right.
Take Madina Abokobi, for example, the presidential result, which was declared by the presiding officer, which is provisional, is probably what is going to be declared at the national level. So what is it? Is it not just about terminology?
All right. I think I understand what you're trying to suggest there. All right. Dr. Mensah, now let's look at, you are a political marketing expert. Now, gradually, we're seeing a certain trend of results coming in. For instance, the incumbent member of parliament for Madina has lost his seat. We're told of other incumbent members of parliament losing their seat too. With the presidential election, the figures we have indicate the opposition leader in the lead. What can you make of how the votes have gone so far?
All right, thank you. Well, I think first of all, we must actually look at some of the events that have actually characterized this particular elections. Especially, you have what you call an opposition party that has gone for 3 times. I mean, the presidential.
Dr. Mensah, hold on for me. I'll come back to you. We deal with this one. But let's quickly get to the news hub. And Alfred has some update for us. Alfred.
Well, right. Thank you very much there from the Nerve Center of the Election Command Center back here to the News Hub where the results are coming in thick and fast here on your Election Command Center. Thomas Khan is in the Central Region, specifically the Sikuma Odobeng Brakwa Constituency. Now, Thomas, good morning to you if you can hear me and if you can run by us the provisional results from that constituency where you are.
And Central Region is becoming more or less interesting because of the provisional results that is coming in. For instance, if you mention Esikuma Odabin Brakwa, what comes to mind especially is the Honorable PC Apiofori. I believe you remember him.
Absolutely.
Yes, during the NPP time. And if you would remember, after his term, he didn't contest again, and that seat was lost to the NDC. And surprisingly, what we are getting so far, the NPP candidate there has taken that seat. That is it. Esikuma Odobeng Brakwa I have for parliamentary PPP 237, NDC 27330. Sorry. NDC 22,330, NPP 23,760, CPP 90. That is so far for the parliamentary results that we have so far. And we go to Agona West, which we are also picking signals that NDC has lost there. And for presidential, we are looking at CPP 87, NDP 135, NDC 22,208, PPP 503, NPP 32,142, PNC 35, independent candidate 18. I go over Agona West presidential, CPP 87, NDP 135, NDC 22,208, PPP 503, NPP 32,142, PNC 35, and Jacob Otay Joy 18. So interestingly, it looks like the story in the central region is changing, and more seats are being lost. And again, we're also picking signals that 2 seats in the central region, which has never been won by the NPP since 1992, that is Chufetimokwa and Ekumfi, is likely to go for the NPP.
Ekumfi is likely to go for the NPP?
Yes.
Interesting there. We'll wait to see the provisional results when you have them in those 2 constituencies that have never gone for the NPP since 1992. But the story, according to the provisional results, seems to be different from what you're telling us. So we'll come back to you again for the Ekumfi results to find out how it looks like this time around. Grateful, Thomas Khan in the central region. That region is a critical region, is a swing region since 1992. The trend analysis very clearly does confirm and shows that it does confirm who eventually becomes the president of the Republic of Ghana. So the central region is a region of focus, and from the trend analysis and what's happening, we're going to be subjecting it to what happened in 2012. And if you look at the Sukuma Domimbra constituency in 2012. I'll come back to it shortly and what's happening here as well. Let's go to Kukwa now. She's joined us on the telephone. Let's find out what's happening where she is in the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency. If you recall, there were some disturbances at the Collation Center at the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency previously. Let's find out the situation now. Kukwa, thank you very much for your time this morning. Now, has the situation calmed down there, and have the provisional results been declared as yet? Hello, Kukwa, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Well,
Sorry.
I was asking if the situation has calmed down there now at the Collation Center and what the provisional results are.
I can hear you, please.
Kukwa, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but very faintly.
I'm asking if the provisional results are in now. What do you have for us?
Yes, the results are in. The results are in, and the PPP, sorry, let me start with the parliamentary results.
Okay.
The parliamentary had 4 candidates vying.
Okay, we seem to have lost Kukwa Mensah on the telephone. We'll get back to her because the earlier reports that we got indicates that there were some skirmishes at the Collation Center at the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency last night into the early hours or the wee hours of this morning. And we want to find out what the situation is as we speak at the moment at that particular Collation Center there in the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency. Because, if you recall, in 2012, that constituency was won by the incumbent, Boache Jakon, with a very, very slim margin with Iwadakon, who is the Tema refinery boss now as we speak. The parliamentary candidate of the NDC in the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency in 2016 is also DKB as his initials as put there. We'll be finding out what exactly the situation is in the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency. Let's go to Michael Addo now quickly to find out what the situation is where he is. Michael, thank you very much for your time this morning. What are the provisional results where you are, Michael?
Actually, Alfred, good morning to you. And what I have here is a certified result that's coming from the Collation Center here at the Immaculate Conception Roman Catholic polling station. And a short while ago, the returning officer, Kudoji Gershon, just gave out the official certified results for both the presidential and the parliamentary election. So just let me run you by the figures. So for the parliamentary, you have Abdul Razak Issa of the NDC polling 23,371 votes. As against the MPP parliamentary candidate Hussein Issa also polled 28,307. APC's Joseph Akoto Lamte hold 63 votes, while Matthew Kwesi Obing of the CPP got 156. So the total valid vote was 51,916. Total rejected votes was 188. And so the total votes in ballot box A and B totaled 52,104. So these are the certified parliamentary results coming in from the Okaikoi North constituency. So just let me run by you the presidential polls, and then we have Ivor Kobina Green Street of the CPP getting 42 votes, whilst Nana Kunedo Jaman Rawlings, NDP, got 25 votes, whilst John Dramani Mahama of the NDC got 23,077. Papa Kwesi Indum of the PPP got 201. Nanado Dankwa Kufuado of the MPP got 28,639. Edward Nasigri Mahama of the PNC obtained 13 votes, whilst Jacob Osei Yeboah, popularly called Joy, an independent candidate, also got 7 votes. And the total valid votes totaled 51,995. Total rejected votes was 257. And so the total votes in ballot box A and B was 52,252. So this were the certified results given us by the returning officer Kujoji Gershon at the Okaikoi North constituency.
Michael, thank you very much for this. So that is the certified results given at the Okaikoi North constituency. So for parliamentary, the NPP candidate Foseni Issa, according to the certified results by the Electoral Commission official there at the Immaculate Succession Roman Catholic Church Collation Center in the Okaikoi North constituency, has clinched that seat for the presidential, also for the NPP, 28,639 for Nanado Dankwa Ekufuado, and the NDC, John Mahama poll, 23,077. Let's go to Kukwa Mensah back again in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency. Kukwa, if you can hear me, what is the situation now at the Collation Center in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency? Okay, we seem to have lost Kukwa there. We'll get back shortly to the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency. So, just as I said earlier on, so that's the confirmed result in the Okaikoi North constituency, safe seat for the NPP, both parliamentary and presidential there, as announced by the electoral officer there. Let's go back to Kukwa on the telephone. Kukwa, if you can hear me, I was asking about the provisional results as you have it in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency.
Actually, it is not provisional, it's confirmed results by...
These are certified results.
Yes, so it is certified, yes. And I will start with the parliamentary. 4 candidates vied for the Ayawaso West Wuogon seat, and the first one in that order is DPP William Duoko. He was followed by NDC Delali Kwesi Bempong, then NPP Emmanuel Chairman Tinga Jakun, and then Kweku Kwansa of the CPP. And these are the results for the candidates. PPP had 1,099. NDC had 22,534. NPP 32,591. CPP 638. I'll go over again. PPP had 1,099. NDC had 22,534. MPP had 32,591. And CPP had 638. So the MPP person, the MPP candidate who is Emmanuel Chairman Jakun, and also the incumbent, was declared winner and the elected member of parliament for the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency with 32,591 votes. Then I will go to the presidential quickly. The CPP had 92. The CPP had 92 votes. They were not, as at the time they were leaving, people were just on them, so they had not been able to calculate them in terms of percentage. But this is the numbers in terms of votes. CPP had 92 votes, NDP had 36, NDC 24,208, PPP 703, NPP 32,483, PNC 18, the independent candidates 13. I'm going over. CPP had 92 votes, NDP 36, NDC 24,208, PPP 703, NPP 32,483, PNC 18, independent candidates 13. So the Electoral Commission has declared the NPP candidate Nana Akufo-Addo as the winner for the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency.
Kukwa Mensah, thank you very much for this certified results as announced by the electoral officer there at the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency. So safe to say from the certified results as announced by the Electoral Commission official at the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency Collation Center is a win for the NPP's parliamentary candidate who is the incumbent Emmanuel Chamanting Ejako there, 32,591 as against Delali Kwesi Brimpong of the NDC who polled 22,534. A quick backtrack to 2012. If you remember, it was a close shave for the NPP incumbent Emmanuel Chamanting Ejako, who won with just about 982 thereabout difference between himself and Mr. Ewadako, who is the Tema refinery boss as we speak at the moment. It was a close to call contest in 2012, but this has been a very comfortable win as per the certified results for Emmanuel Ejako there for that constituency, Emmanuel Bachi Ejako for that constituency in the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency. So clearly that's what's happening. For the presidential, you see also for the NDC that the analysis shows that John Mahama gained even more votes, more than the parliamentary candidate in the constituency. So you look at Delade Kwesi Brimpong, who polled 22,534 per the certified results, but John Mahama polled 24,208, a little over some 2,000 votes there for the NDC presidential candidate. Let's go to Catherine Frimpoma now quickly to the Jaman North constituency. That is the constituency that is still voting, polls open at 7 a.m. today. Catherine, thank you very much for your time this morning. What's the latest in the Jaman North constituency as we speak?
Yes, the Jaman North constituency, as we know, couldn't vote yesterday due to misunderstanding about some form of double names in the voter transfer register. But the issue was resolved, and then today was scheduled for the exercise. And so polls began at exactly 7 here. But I'm currently at the courthouse polling center, which is one of the 92 polling centers in the constituency. And here we have 770 registered voters who are expected to cast their ballots here. So far, since the exercise began, about 30 people have been able to go through the process. Currently, there are other people in long queues here at the polling center, but the process is going on smoothly and very quickly because the people do not waste too much time at the tables and then they go through. But so far, over the time that we have been here, people with special needs are being very well catered for. For instance, people with disabilities who came here, about 3 of them who came, have been taken care of. They didn't have to join any queue. They just went straight to cast their ballots and they left. Also, old people as well as pregnant women are also taken care of. And so far, we don't have any nursing mother or pregnant woman in the queue waiting to vote. We spoke to the presiding officer as well as the party agents. We have the agents for NDC, NPP, and CPP here, and all of them seem satisfied about the process so far. So we are here observing issues as we will be updating viewers.
Great. Thank you, Catherine Frimpoma. Grateful for that update. So that's the situation in the Jaman North constituency as we speak at the moment. 30 people have been able to vote in that polling station as we speak. Just a quick recall, you know what happened there yesterday because of some skirmishes and misunderstanding that characterized some 33 names that were found on the Electoral Commission's list for the Jaman North constituency, which was not on the list of the that of the parties, the political parties there. So they had to reconcile that difference in terms of the numbers on the both lists, and so they had to go to a DISEC meeting. The DISEC decided that the election should be postponed to today, and then also Electoral Commission coming back and saying that that was at variance with the CI 94, Regulation 34. They came back eventually in the evening to say that they had to postpone the election to today. That's what's happening in the Jaman North constituency. Let's just gauge the mood in the camp of the New Patriotic Party as we speak at the moment. Abu Jinapo is a member of the NPP communications team. He's a legal practitioner. So I thank you, Abu, for your time this morning. Now, what's the mood as we speak in the NPP camp at the moment?
Well, thank you very much, and a very good morning to your cherished viewers and your panel members. The mood is calm. We are fully aware that a new dawn is being born in Ghana, i.e., our candidate is been blessed by the Almighty God and given a privilege to serve as president of this republic by the Ghanaian people. We are very certain about that. I believe that is not in doubt in any way. Of course, as you know, the NPP campaigned on a platform. And that platform is a very visionary one, which will require all and sundry to be on board, and which will also require the efforts of all stakeholders in our country. So the mood is calm, confident mood, poised mood. We're just waiting for the Electoral Commission to officially and legally declare Nana Akufo-Addo as the president-elect of this country.
Well, until then, the National Peace Council and the Electoral Commission have not taken it kindly, taking a huge swipe at you for your decision to come out and declare Nana Addo as a winner when posed for the presidential, the rightful person, the returning officer for the presidential election being the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. It was not within your purview and your mandate to do that. So why did the party take up or usurp the authority of the Electoral Commission in this respect?
Well, first of all, I think that it's trite knowledge that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission has a sole prerogative or mandate under the laws of Ghana to declare a person winner of the presidential election. She's the returning officer for the presidential election. That is not in doubt. Number two, the MPP did not declare Nana Akufo-Addo as the president-elect or did not declare Nana Akufo-Addo as the winner of the elections. The MPP simply exercised its rights under the law and took the benefit of the law. Now, for you to be able to appreciate what the MPP did and how that is lawful and responsible, you need to take a look at the provisions of CI 94. As you know, in these general elections, as in the 2016 elections, very characteristically of CI 94, the returning officer of every polling station is enjoined by law to publish the results as declared at the particular polling station. And also the returning officer is enjoined to publish and paste the statement of polls or the statement of the results for the particular polling station. And the results as declared by the returning officer of the polling station constitutes the lawful verdicts
of the elections in that particular polling station. This is a novel.
I get the point. I mean, you've been recalling what the law actually says. Now, from what we have, the certified results, and I would agree with you on the point of the certified results when announced at the polling station by the electoral officer. But as our own monitoring, is that to say that per the MPP's monitoring, you have over 25 or 26,000 polling stations certified results announced by the election officials there to give you the confidence that you can come out to make a bold statement for the victory of your candidate?
So, but that's not even that's not what the MPP did. What the MPP did was simply to take the certified, legally declared polling station results across the country.
How many certified
at the time
results?
Chairman McMahon spoke, the number of polling station results which the MPP had summed up was in the neighborhood of some 20,000 polling stations. It represented, I think, 80% of the polling stations across the country. It is the same thing that media houses do. It is the same thing that several people on their own collate or sum up results and publish them. It is allowed by the law. Some of the results that you are publishing in your studio are provisional results. They are not certified results by the Electoral Commission. And therefore, you are not doing anything different from what the MPP did. What will be unlawful and what will be irresponsible was if the MPP had come out to say, these are our results. On the account of the results, Nana Akufo-Addo is an elected president of Ghana. Then the MPP would have breached some law. But if the MPP says, we have summed up the validly and legally published results of the Electoral Commission itself at the polling station, and the results are summed up as this, or constitutes this, and therefore, in our view, we believe our candidate is heading for a victory, and to call on President Mahama to concede.
So per the parliamentary,
nothing wrong with that.
Per the parliamentary, with the results that are coming through from your own monitoring, how does the picture look like for you?
Yes, before I even make a comment on the parliamentary, let me just conclude in a second by saying that the MPP is a law-abiding political party. We're a peaceful political party. We are mindful of the laws of this country. What we did was within the remit of the law, and it was absolutely responsible to do that. Now on the parliamentary elections, again, per the provisional results that we have, and per also the provisional results that several media houses, including TV3, has already put out there, the New Patriotic Party, by the grace of God, and with the support of the Ghanaian people, is heading for a decisive majority in Parliament. I think,
specifically,
large,
how many seats so far for you per your own?
I'll be reluctant to put out figures. This suffice to emphasize that the MPP is heading for a decisive majority in Parliament.
Okay.
But I think generally, all of us observers of these 2016 elections, I think most people, if not all, have come to the conclusion that the verdict of the elections is well known. I believe that we have to wrap up the process, expedite how it is going, so that we can move on into building our country in unity.
Right. Abu, thank you. We'll come back to you again. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Abu Janapo is a member of the NPP communication team and also a legal practitioner. Let's go to lawyer Abraham Amaleba, who is a member of the NDC legal team. Lawyer, thank you very much. Good morning to you. Now, could you just tell me what the mood is in the NDC camp at the moment?
Let me say good morning to your viewers. First of all, let me condemn the midnight usurpation of the powers of the EC when the MPP decided to declare themselves as winners. That for me was reckless and must be condemned, and I'm happy that there are a number of condemnations coming from the civil society and other recognized bodies. Currently, we are pensive and calm. We know that we have lost some seats. We are, however, challenging a couple of them, but our coalition tells us that the president is winning. At the moment, it's neck to neck. We are slightly ahead of them by 49%, and they are 48%. So we remain calm and hopeful that the president will clinch the deal.
Well, with this conclusion of 49%, how many certified polling station results do you have and the NDC to make this conclusion? Because Abu Jinapo does make the justification for that earlier, call or that declaration earlier on that they had over 20,000 certified polling station results. What do you have in the NDC to confirm your 49% lead as against Nanado's 48% that you talk about?
No, this is not 49%. As against their 48% is what the media have turned out. And we are following what you guys have turned out. Initially, the MPP was around 51%. We've closed the gap, and we actually are around 49% now. When you go to my Joy FM, I'm sure they are putting out there these figures. You are also putting out those figures. But our coalition tells us that the president will clinch the deal, and we are just waiting for the EC to confirm that.
I look at the situation in the central region, lawyer, and I'm sure that if you're monitoring the results also, that will be of concern to you. The central region being a swing region in this country, it doesn't really look too good for the NDC with the initial results that's coming through. Is this something that ruffles your feathers in the camp of the NDC, looking at the fact that you've already lost some 2 seats there, and then also comparing the 2012 results in some places in the presidential as against what's happening now? John Mahama seems to have also dropped some votes there in the central region.
Well, central region is a shocker. We actually expected to have performed very well there, considering the fact that we've done a number of projects there. Yes, it appears it's not so good in the central region, but somehow we are making up with votes coming from the other half of the eastern region, the Krobo areas, the areas around Pram. We are making some huge gains there. So yes, the long and short of it is that central region, we expected more, but let's see how it turns out. The votes are not yet all out, but Absolutely. We expected to have performed quite better there, but it's not the case now.
Great. We'll come back to you again, lawyer. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Great. Lawyer Abraham Amaleba is a member of the NDC legal team. We have some breaking news coming through. We have reports of some gunshots in the Bawku Central Constituency. Eva Tiboka is joining us with the details. Eva, if you can hear me, what's the situation now in the Bawku Central Constituency?
Bawku at the moment is very tense. Just 5 minutes ago, supporters were tossing stones. There was a gunshot, but even though no casualty recorded, but the place is tense. People, supporters, even including children who are not they are in uniform. They are all out here. We don't really know what they are out for, but sure, they want to monitor the results. But counting hasn't even, there's still a long way to go with the counting. So far, I think they've so far collated 50, just a little over 40 polling stations out of 120 polling stations. And in fact, it's worrying because once the process is delaying, the more tension is mounting. So it's really tense here in Bawku Central.
But what's the security situation there now that this fighting is ongoing as we speak?
The police commander continues to call for reinforcement. A couple of minutes ago, security personnel had arrived from Bimbila, Binduri, Garu, all of those places. They have finished counting and declared results. And so they continue to reinforce. The policemen, the number has beefed up. The military, the same. They're moving with their ammo carts and all of that. But still, it is not easy to control the crowd here.
But is that safe to say that with the security situation, with the security beefed up, they can control the crowd there, or it still doesn't look too good?
I didn't get you right. Can you come again? I'm
asking if with the reinforcement, is it enough to control the situation as you're seeing it?
Looking at the situation, the polls, Collation is still halfway, and they're already experiencing this kind of atmosphere. Then what it means is that more reinforcement will have to be made.
Eva, thank you. Thank you very much for this. But you'd say that there are no casualties at the moment.
A gunshot from one of the supporters, but so far there's not been any casualty. But just a couple of minutes ago, I saw the police lead some two guys to the police station. We'll be moving there pretty soon to find out whether there are those who were caught either tossing the stone or those who fired the gunshot. So I'll be there in the next minute. And so, but as we speak, 2 ballot boxes are currently with the Divisional Police Command because they arrived late. And in fact, those 2 ballot boxes are what is generating the controversy for now.
What is in those 2 ballot boxes that is generating the controversy?
They came late. They brought them one ballot box came late. That was a few minutes to 5. But the EC officials rejected it. They said they would not accept it. The NPP parliamentary candidate was claiming that that was coming from her stronghold, and so she was bent on getting the ballots in there counted. But other supporters also refused, and so at about 5:10, another ballot arrived, and the NPP camp also prevented that ballot from being sent inside the Collation Center. And so that was definitely coming from the NDC strong camp, we understand. And so those 2 ballot boxes generated the controversy that is building up tension gradually and gradually.
But you can confirm that some people have been arrested for this disturbance?
I won't be able to confirm that for now, but the 2 issue officials, they're already behind bars. But for the person of the stones and then the gunshots, they just moved 2 people. The police escorted 2 young guys to their direction. I'm not too sure whether they have been arrested in connection with the gunshot or the person of the stones. So we are yet to find out that from the police command.
Okay, so these 2 persons are electoral officers who are arrested?
Yes, they are electoral officers. And so they're already behind bars with the ballot boxes. The pink sheets have also been collected from them and sealed. So all of those materials are with the police command.
Eva, thank you very much for this. This is the breaking news coming from the Bawku Central Constituency. 2 electoral officers behind bars.